So far, we just got out of the Reverie not too long ago, and it's a beautiful Saturday night. How are you doing?
Yeah. Just oh my God, that was I had to hop in. I had to hop in, and then here's a theory, here's another theory. I was just in there, and then like they were referencing some stuff, and I was like, I got to memorize. Let me hit you with it because they were talking about like Ivankov. Did Ivankov say Luffy had Kangasaki like because of dragon? How did it go? And I was like, I got you the quotes, I got you chapter numbers. It's all locked up in this.
I memorized all of it. I gotcha.
Part of the great thing about the community is it's always growing. It's not
Yeah.
stagnant. A lot of new perspectives. It can get stale a little bit hearing Cole, hit the same beats all the time, and then it's fun to see people push back in different ways. But then also this, I think, this Reverie we got to see a new side to a lot of creators. I feel like since the last time I spoke to them, there was a lot of different takes, not different takes. There's more nuance. I think we got a lot deeper, also on a
Yeah.
lot of topics, and there was some things that were heated, and it makes sense to be heated about a lot of these things. And it was funny because the comments at one point were like, "Oh, I'm tired of this topic. How did we get here? Blah blah blah," and it was about we were talking about Egghead at the very beginning, and we were talking about like everyone was putting their 2 cents about what death means and what fake out deaths and this and that, and like people were upset, like a little bit upset, and and I guess wanted to move on some things, and some creators wanted to talk, and I was like, there's a reason why Egghead, an entire section about Egghead landed on the death conversation, and it's because Oda literally like ended Egghead with a chapter called "What Constitutes Death." Like, and I think there was like three different dialogues. Saturn said it, Vegapunk said it, Kuma said it.
Mars
The
said it.
chapter was thing. Mars said it, yeah. And then like so that's a definite theme that Oda wanted us to debate. Not what, obviously not as like he didn't want us as a reverie to do it, but like meaning like as readers to form your own opinion on what death means and
Yeah.
what your ramifications are for it, and that he's going to test it, he's going to poke at it, he's going to play with it. And going into Elbaf, I think it's going to be a very important arc to have that in mind, considering how the Giants are probably going to hold death and rebirth and honoring certain traditions, and Valhalla, which we'll probably talk about in this chapter, and ongoing throughout Elbaf. So yeah, the Reverie was very nice. A lot of new faces, a lot of really good conversations. Definitely go check that out and support it if you guys haven't seen it already.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, and the thing is with like topics being stale over time in the Reverie, I understand that, but it's also hard because there's so many different people wanting to talk. And then it becomes a
Yeah.
contest of like who can yell the loudest for a minute, and then people quiet down for a second, then it's just like rinse and repeat until you get everybody through the cycle, which is why I didn't talk too much too. Because it's like I'm
Mhm.
naturally more quiet unless like, if somebody else wants to talk. So it's like, yeah, I'm just kind of like in the background doing my thing. So that's just
Yeah.
kind of how it is. And I think that's the good part about the Reverie too. Like you just have so many people there. Like I think
Yeah.
half of them I had no clue who they were, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
most of them. I've seen them here and there. Like probably a year ago, I
yeah,
pinged like a lot of them. Very, very talented people. A lot of them cover other content, which is also very cool to see. That like me and you. I mean, you do other content as well, and then I do here and there with watch parties and stuff like that. But like AJ, for example, AJ, one of I think his Twitch name is like Alexander. You guys might mistake him for Coach Recon or King Recon, but
kind of looked like him
I
in the beginning.
watched.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, yeah, they literally I haven't seen them in the
That's
same
I
room.
think at
I've
one point I was like, oh, like King Recon's here. Well, like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. So I've seen his reaction to, and while he was catching up, like when he was in Skypiea, and just the theories that he was making and the thoughts in depth, and you could see it in the Reverie too. But he really takes his time, and I saw him doing like other series. I think he did Hunter x Hunter. I watched that one, and Naruto.
Yeah,
And just seeing like creators come from other mangas first and then take One Piece on
It's
and
pretty
then give it
cool.
the time and breath that we do just on One Piece. Like yeah, very, very
It's
cool
Yeah, I mean, one
to
of my
see.
favorite things about the Reverie is just seeing all those new faces because it's like walking down like, the red light district or, looking for your favorite prostitute. Like there's so like if you take the boys out, like me and you, like we're out on a night, right? We're looking for a straight hooker. And
Josh,
yeah, and
big
Josh is
Josh
there
here.
too, man. Like we got Brago here, Cole, like we got the boys just walking down the street, salivating over
Oh my
girls. Like
God.
we all have different tastes, right? And that's what's so good about the One Piece community is because there's so many different faces there. There's so many different people you can get your content from or like, listen to, or maybe people you enjoy their opinion of or people you don't like their opinion. So you watch them anyways because you want to see what they say. Like, I think that's the glory of having such a big community. And
Yeah.
it's funny because it's irrelevant, but somebody added me on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, I wish more content creators did Don because I guess there's only like one person that makes Don content about the manga." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's kind of funny." Like One Piece, we got billions, bro. Like I bet like there's a new One Piece channel being made every other day.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
how it
And it's
is.
gonna continue to be that way
Yep.
until One Piece is. I think post One Piece, there's going to be people who binge it. There's gonna be binge
Oh yeah,
accounts.
there's like for Bleach. Bleach has been over for years and years, but there's one guy, sorry if I'm gonna get his name wrong, but I watch him pretty often. Like Mr. Tom or Mr. Tomoe or something like that. And even to
Mhm.
this day, he still makes character breakdowns. I'm like, bro, how's that even possible? Like
That's
how is the
crazy.
well not dried up? And then I think about
Yeah.
One Piece that has, 10 times more characters in Bleach, and it's like, yeah, after One Piece is gone, there's still going to be people like talking about it. I think we'll still
Oh,
talk about it
me.
on the side every now and then. Obviously, we're not going to be doing like these weekly podcasts once One Piece is over, but
Yeah.
we'll be
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. I mean, like there's. I think when One Piece is over, I think I told this to somebody. I have more videos planned for after One Piece is over
Do
than
you
I
think
do
I'm
for
done?
before.
I
Yeah,
took zinc pills, lady.
because like when you think about it, when you have the completed thing, you can give a full. And I know more just gonna go fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah,
Like that guy, he's gonna redo all of his analysis videos. Like the amount of times he said in the Reverie today that, oh, I make analysis videos. I was like, all right, I'm more. I hit us with the analysis videos. Like it, like after One Piece is over and you can get a complete image of what you're talking about, you can talk about it way differently. And the thing is, like, there's so many characters even today that we talked about that, like, I would like Ginny. I brought up her like goat of Egghead because a lot of people brought up like Kuma get best father or whatever. I was like, damn, Ginny always like is in the shadow of that, but like Ginny was like way like without Ginny, Kuma would be like probably dead. Like this dude was like
yeah,
giving off like half his lifespan
slave boy, dude.
every. Yeah, and like Ginny like survived, did everything, and there's just so much nuance to her story where it's like because one part of it is that like people like obviously what happened to her is tragic at the end where she becomes a slave again, but people forget she started off as a slave too. So like it's it not that it makes it any better, but like meaning that there's a whole different nuance to what she was doing, you know what I mean, like where she was and just everything about that
And how she got
situation, right?
captured, even.
Yeah, we don't even know how that went down, but like if you were to think about Saba Odi, the way the girl was there, like the wife, she didn't like the husband died. You know what I mean? And it could be that Ginny was like, "Hey, I'll just take the L here."
My
You know what I
parents
mean?
got
Like
killed.
nobody
Here
has
we
to
go.
die. Yeah, nobody has to die for this. I'll just go. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't know. And like, there's just so many things with not random characters. I would say Ginny's random because at the arc start she didn't exist. At the flashback start she didn't exist. So like 100% I would want to make a analysis video,
You
and I
know,
could do that now, but there's so many other things to talk about now that we don't
yeah.
have the time to, you know what I mean? But when the series is done and you go through the story one more time, two more times, you can pick apart so many things in this series that it's unfathomable.
It's
Yeah, it's
it's
insane.
kind of funny because like I was just recalling back when we hit the Ginny introduction chapter. We, as well as like everybody else, like we were like, oh my god, Ginny, yeah, that's Bonnie's mom. Like we knew
Yeah.
immediately, like the name. It was like it's there. I remember there was
Yeah,
some pushback saying, oh, it's too obvious, but I mean, Ginny, Bonnie, like, I feel like it makes sense.
Yeah,
I still remember that conversation.
I feel like I think I gave pushback, but more so. No, did I give pushback? I feel
No,
like
I
the
don't think
visuals.
it was you. No.
Yeah, I think the visuals just kind of like either like the I think the pushback I could have gave was the Parvision. This isn't Ginny. This is Bonnie.
Guys, this is a sword come to life.
This is that
That's so good. Oh man, but
she's only good at hacking things. She is a Denden.
She is a hack.
Yeah,
of a woman. All right, so going on to the cover page.
Speaking of a hack of a woman,
yeah, just in case people don't care about the Reverie too much, but if you don't know what that is, just brief synopsis and then we'll move on. But it is an event that it takes place like once every 6 months ish, but it's where like 20 plus One Piece creators get together and have a 12-hour plus live stream, and it's pretty crazy, pretty chaotic. A lot of voices.
Yeah.
So yeah. it's nuts.
Yeah.
But
and what's cool about it is, obviously when the community was smaller, or not smaller, I would say, but more concentrated. Obviously you would have the big YouTubers there and everything is a massive thing. But over time, a lot of the big YouTubers looked at the event as a way to push up the smaller channels. So the host is usually a newer channel that has established themselves in being able to host a proper event. And then also moderate well, because that's really difficult to do. And then on top of that, the people who are invited, they try to, in their best capability, to bring in people who, are not rising stars, I would say, but are highlighted, and their communities are very passionate. And that's really important because, as the community grows, we're adding more people. And it's very difficult. This is a really competitive space, so it's like to get us, like, to make it there or whatever,
it's like a badge of honor
for a lot of them, and it's exciting. And been to a few reveries, and I gotta say, like, every single time someone gets added, me included, it's a huge deal to get so much support from the community, be involved in the community. For me, I've been offline for like 3 months, and like I completely forgot about the Reverie, and Sai reminded me, and it was just so wholesome to come back to. Like, I had no like inkling, I didn't do anything really in preparation, and there's just like this community huge event that just exists regularly, like Sai was saying. And everybody watches the One Piece stuff for their own reasons, but I think that like the Reverie is probably like one of the more special things that we have that other communities don't have. And it's really exciting because like a few people even said that they started One Piece like they started seeing One Piece content because of the Reverie. When I said that on the Reverie, a bunch of people commented, and they were like, yo, I started seeing a bunch of people because I watched this first. I was like, that's a crazy entry point into the community from the Reverie. But still, it's huge. That's awesome.
It's like losing your virginity to somebody with STDs. It's like, dude, you're playing on hard mode.
Yeah. And I know why. Yep. It's a lot of
exactly.
Well, because you come in with a lot of personalities, like, damn, what the fuck is happening? You know what I mean? It's just like if you got hit with a bunch of STDs, what the fuck is happening to me?
What is going on?
Why am I itchy right now?
Why do we have to see a doctor?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those One Piece takes made people itchy for sure.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, got some itchy takes.
Yeah, so onto the cover page, we got Yamato, Tama, and Speed, and Komichio. They're rushing off to find the katana thief. 18 weeks in, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like, somebody's been going through the Parcast and the review videos we do, and they went back to, I guess, the start of this cover page story, and they said that we were so excited to see this. I busted up laughing. That was so funny. They said on volume 1 of Yamato's cover page journey, they said that me and you were genuinely excited to see the events unfold. And don't get me wrong, I still believe that this will be really good. I still believe that there's going to be a big, Blackbeard, Yonko, Buggy. Like, there's going to be a big WANO payoff. But we're just not there yet. And we're 18 weeks in. And in comparison to other cover page stories, we've talked about it before, but like Germa, 9 volumes, it kicked off. You know, we talk about the beige one, like a couple of chapters, it picked off. But Yamato, 18 weeks later, and we're finally getting some action, maybe.
More than 18. More
than 18. Yeah, plus breaks, we've been here for like over half a year. And it's like, bro, that shit's so funny.
Like, here's the thing.
I love Yamato too.
Like, Germa's one was way different.
Yeah.
For multitude. It didn't even need to kick off, honestly. The thing is that they had so many theories spawned straight. I remember there was like 2 chapters back to back. It was probably like the Blackbeard stuff where we didn't even, the chapter wasn't the highlight. People were talking about that cover story. They're like, yo, who is it here? You know what I mean? And that is just insane because we are not getting even a close, like, it's not even we got a silhouette, who stole the sword, but we don't have context like we did there. Well, we didn't have context there either, but like it was a lot different than, because we had the whole world to play with. The whole world doesn't make sense to be in Wano. The players in Wano, not that they're boring, but like they don't fit. It's just like we just gotta wait for it. And then on top of that, like this cover story in particular, we didn't get anything. All the only question mark is where was Shinobu and why is Speed here all of a sudden? And then
where
also
did Speed come from?
Yeah, and then why did Oda draw Speed this way? Did you notice the wrong anatomy that Oda did just to insert butt cheeks here?
Oh, he did. Wait, why? What?
The legs should not be like that. There's no he actually drew the
it kind of makes sense.
No, like, do you see that line from her back to her leg?
It could just be leggings.
That should not be.
It could just be leggings, bro.
The thing about centaurs, and this is a huge important thing, is that anatomically they have 2 rib cages. You could look at Komachiyo. Where's the togetherness there? Oda literally drew Speed in a way where if you don't scroll all the way down, you just think that Oda drew her butt naked. And that's what happened on stream. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? And I scrolled down, I was like, oh wait, what? She's in horse form? What's happening here? And if Oda didn't draw that line, I was like, damn.
I will admit the line is a little bit funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like she's butt naked.
Yeah, it's very odd. If you just showed someone without the hooves, they're not 10 out of 10. They're saying this is a naked girl. Oda's crazy.
Do you think that Speed is she's here willingly, like she got Stockholm syndrome successfully by Tama, or do you think we've talked about this before, but like when the month is up and the devil fruit effect starts wearing out, do you think Tama's like spawn camping here with the kibi donga ready to throw it in her mouth? Because that could be a thing, right? Because Oda said that. Tama's devil fruit only lasts 1 month, and then after that they're free again. But realistically, you could just be like, ready to shove it down their throat right away.
Yeah. I think Speed genuinely likes Tama.
Okay. That's like her mom.
Like
at this point.
Yeah, like protector. I think like something like the fruit power doesn't give a like. It's not like what's an example here?
Sugar.
Like you have to give an order, right? Like you can't disobey or harm the master, but like it doesn't give you a 24/7 like cater to this person kind of effect. You know what I mean? If Tama says do this, you'll listen. If someone says attack Tama, you won't do that, right? Because I think that was also a part of the thing too. Like being compelled to protect her was also something, but that doesn't mean that like outside of the orders you have to be nice, right? Like that's not how that works. It's not like all the smile users were like just all of a sudden her best friends. That's not how it exactly. She didn't fall in love with her, for example. It was just that she said fight against Kaido, and she's like, all right, I can't do anything.
Well, actually, no, they did fall in love with her.
Did they?
Yeah, because I remember, like, Speed, for example, she would hate Luffy, but the minute Tama says, hey, Horselina, Horse-chan, and Speed, like, turns around and she has, like, heart emojis, like, they love her. Like, that's what the Devil Fruit kind of does. Which, it's actually, weird for people, but, of course, it's meant for animals, though.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, wait, does Komichio ate one too, right?
Yeah, but I think Komichio was already tamed, so maybe Komichio just eats it for fun. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the way Tama's fruit works, it's kind of like, when you get a pet, you have to train them first, right? Like, so
Yeah,
like, but if you once you
like
go through that
treats.
process, your pet just like is loyal to you, like,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
that's
it's probably
probably what it
Komichio.
is. It's like her fruit is like a way to train people and animals alike, and so because you are training them, they become loyal like a pet, and so it's like I
Kind of
think I
cursed.
think uh nuance aside, because I'm not fully memorizing Tama's ramifications of her fruit, which is probably important for later stuff, but yeah, I think that just she probably doesn't need to feed all of them. It'd be crazy if she's spawn camping her though.
That would be so
Every
cool,
full
though. I would
moon,
love to see
she
like
has like,
a cover story with Tama like ready to just
dude,
imagine from like the smile user's perspective, right? They're like, oh, I'm almost
yeah,
free. Oh my god, I see the moonlight. I'm about to get free will again. And then Tama's like right there, like like get back
yeah.
down, slave.
Yo, she easily could be the next Orochi, right? Like,
She
oh
could.
wait, she's Kurozumi.
Yeah, she is Kurozumi. It's in her blood,
Oh my
dude.
god, it's in her. The smile poisoning. She could easily just put the dango kiwi dango in like soup or something. I don't know, like just I don't know, just put it in food and then just like, here, have this, and they would never know. That'd be
Yeah, it's
wild.
smart.
Oh, I'm so bad for saying that. It's
No,
in her
no, no,
blood.
you're not bad. I think you're just like strategic, really.
Strategic. It's
That's how I
crazy.
see it. You're just strategic. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, nothing wrong with that one. Yeah,
Exactly.
Tama is she could have two-piece and three-piece storylines that are dark. Like
Yeah.
the like Winnie the Pooh but horror version. Tama could have that. Like the
Tama but
whole thing
slave
about,
master.
yeah, and like her becoming a Shinuichi or whatever, like it's purely for monster hunting. It's purely just the smile uses never escape her. She goes Itachi and just and the Kiwidengo
Yeah.
just like, like, oh, that'd be crazy, dude. That'd be crazy.
Speaking of
But
Kunoichis, like Shinobu's still not here. Do you think Shinobu is the one who took the blade? Like, where are you with Shinobu right now?
she's a suspect, bro.
She is, right?
Like,
Like Oda wants you to kind of suspect her.
I don't even like I don't even know, because it's I, I want to say that Oda doesn't care, but like he does, and like she's actually kind of important. She's actually really important. Like, and
Yeah.
Oda did that intricate detail where she was in her prime form and then she's in her modern form, and like that's a small detail that Oda gave us and no explanation given, and then she disappears, and that's a detail that we're supposed to ignore. Like, no, I don't think so, and she's still not there. I don't think that's something we should ignore. Like, she's literally a scabbard that fought the darkest day. You're telling me that she's not here for the katana thief? Like, that's crazy. This isn't
Yeah,
even
it's
close.
weird.
Yeah, like she fell asleep. Isn't that like not what a Shinoichi? What is, that's what the
Kunoichi.
term is, right? Kunoichi. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's not what they're, like she needs to be on top of her game. You know what I mean? Like, there's no the other thing that could, like, we talked about this, is that I just expected her to have caught the person. Like, they just wake
Yeah.
up and she's just the older mature woman or whatever that she goes on about, and she's a scabbard, and scabbard level people wouldn't let this stuff get past them, right? Like, so that's kind of what I expected. They're more careful. I don't know, but yeah, and this cover story gives us no context to like figure anything out. That's why this is like a nothing burger.
That's kind of where I was. Like, I really thought that if she wasn't the thief, she'd be like in the very next cover page, like stopping them or, capturing them or cutting them off. But that's not what's happening here. Like, nobody's wondering where the hell Shinobu is at.
Yeah, someone said it in my stream too. Whoever this is the fastest person in Wano. Like,
Dude,
being
yeah.
chased by speed. Like, that was her thing.
Being chased by
That's
Speed,
funny.
Yamato, and Komichio, and they're getting away. Which, to be
Yeah.
fair, like maybe they stole it in the middle of the night and then they had a full day to like run away. So it's
Can
whatever.
Yamato turn wolf form? Like, please.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's the whole thing, right? Can Yamato just go dog, wolf form, and sniff out the
Sniff 'em
sword and
out.
just chase him down? It's like, yeah, Yamato definitely could,
Yeah, I
but
would
they're
see
not.
if we did that and there's the same thing and it's just Yamato and wolf form, just like as a bloodhound for a moment. I'm not. That's not a nothing. That's something we've never seen out of her, and that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, this is just like, okay, we're riding the dog thing again, and Speed is back. Why? And that's it. Nothing else. I don't know anything about the thief. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they're going. I don't know when they left. I don't know how long they're chasing for. I don't even know why. Like, the person stole me.
I
Like,
I think it was Tekking who said it, but he said we're literally just going on a world tour of Wano. Like, we're just seeing every single character that we've ever met this arc, and we're just gonna see them for like one arbitrary chapter, and that's just move on. And like this chapter was for Speed and Komichio.
I just wish it was a little bit more constructive, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like a world tour, but like we don't even know where they are.
Well, we do know where they are, Par. If you look at the bottom right of the page, you can see dead branches and rocks, so they're obviously on their way to the next village. They left the forest.
Bro, this could be Udon. This could be like on the
Yeah, it literally could.
Like, yeah,
It could be anywhere.
Yeah, and we don't even know like the thing is, at the end of the day, the reality is the one thing that we need to recognize is that whoever stole this katana has the biggest balls of steel I've ever seen. To steal out from like literally the Oni Princess Yamato. Like, what?
To be fair, I did see like a hentai a long time ago where they gave a character like the big no me.
What?
Yeah. It's crazy. But
That's crazy.
yeah, for like this cover page, man, like I said, I have high hopes for it, but it's just not hitting right now. I think I'm just having like is it fair to call it Wano fatigue again? Like it's like Wano fatigue in a weird way.
What? Yeah, this is like Act 1.
Yeah, this is Act 1 of Wano. Yeah,
What
exactly.
if the cover stories have acts? Oh, no, wait. Sorry,
Stop.
this is Act 4.
I knew you were gonna say that.
This is what we've been waiting. Everyone
So-
theorized about the F5 acts is the Act 4.
Guys, okay, so if you don't know what Par's referring to here, back in Wano, Oda did the thing where he said, oh, this is Act 1, Act 2, and then, was there an Act 3? There was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people were like, okay, like Oda is structuring this as a kabuki play, and in kabuki plays there are 5 acts, and that's one of the reasons why they said the raid would fail, because we're only on Act 3, and we're on the rooftop, and we're doing all this stuff, but Oda obviously did not go that route. The acts were kind of, if you eliminated the acts, like if you eliminated that one panel or that 1 second in the anime where they say act 1, 2, 3, no difference. Literally no difference. But yeah, maybe
And
this is
there
Act 4. Maybe
there
you're
are
right.
kabuki plays with 3 acts. It's just that the 5 was like the more traditional
Yeah.
on average. But like I think there's also a tradition where people don't watch the 5th act or something like that because like it's like something about paying, like people would leave early or something like that so they wouldn't have to pay for the whole thing. So what they would do is just they'd pay for 1 act and then go for each one, and they would just miss out on the last one so that they could skip and watch another one or something like that. I remember reading about that. I was like, that's so funny that
Just
this is
theater
a thing.
hopping.
But yeah, essentially there's some kind of tradition like that. But point is that 5 was just the like on average, right? That's like saying like in 2024 most movies are 2 hours long, but it's like you could have an hour 30-minute movie and you can have an hour movie. J-Lo put one out. It's pretty terrible, but like
It's awful.
Yeah, but you know, so this is Act 4 of Wano. Everybody's waiting for this one. Oh god,
That would be
can't
so funny if Oda did that. You know what? Next cover page, volume 19, it just says Act 4. That's all it is.
Yeah, this is a prologue to Act 4, the intermission or something like that. Oh god, that's crazy, dude.
So, how do we wrap in Sukiyaki into today's conversation? How do we bring in Sukiyaki in this son of a gun?
Wait,
what's up?
we've seen him. Have we seen him already? In the cover story, I mean.
No.
Oh no, that means we are going to if Tekking is
Yeah.
right, and Tekking's on a hot streak right now, guys.
Yeah.
Like Tekking's the word of Oda right now, and he said we're on a world tour seeing all the characters. That means we're seeing Sukiyaki. God help us if we can do a Sukiyaki chapter. There's no stopping us then. You guys
How
can't
would you
complain
feel
about it.
if we see the katana thief and they're bleeding out? No. They're bleeding out.
Oh.
They're like hand up. And then right behind them is Sukiyaki saying, I've retrieved the blade, Yamato. Like,
Yo.
Sukiyaki's the man who solves our problems.
Bro, it's like 50 years too late to do anything. My guy said, and the thing is, like, he, like, the thief is like an actual good person. Like, he's just mad. He's just like, there's a good reason. It's like, I was just trying to return this to Yasue. I don't know why it was taking so long or something like that. And Sukiya was like, fuck. Like, the one time I did something, I killed them.
Yeah. He's like a Professor Calamitous from Jimmy Neutron. Just everything he does just goes wrong.
Yeah.
Sukiyaki tries to do good, but he just messes up.
On that note, I wanted to bring up the recycle curse so
I was
bad.
kind of hoping you would during the Reverie, and I was like, if Par brings up the recycle curse, that's gonna be pretty funny.
When they asked for the Goda Baghead, I was this close to being like honorable mention to recycle cur, but I forgot.
That stupid dog that showed up looked important and then never showed up ever again.
Yeah.
That damn dog.
Someone, I think, super chatted on, I don't know if it was the Reverie or my stream. They're like, hey, Par, do you inside have a replacement for the recycle cur?
I mean, that happens in these
like,
videos too. People still bring up the recycle cur in the comments, and it's so funny. Because we did go kind of hard on the theory, but the thing is that, like, you know, it didn't come true. It's all good. But it was fun while it lasted. You got to admit, the recycle cur theories were kind of cracked.
Hey, listen. It can still happen as well.
It can still happen. Hey, Egghead Island is still there. It can happen.
Is there. Emmett needs to be recycled. All I'm saying is that recycle got plenty to eat right now. You know, he powered down. Imagine we go back there. Emmett is just gone. There's bolts and scraps left. And
imagine we go back and York is being plowed by like the recycle cur.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Like today, like my mind has just been. I blame it on the fact that I didn't get a lot of sleep the other night, and now I'm drinking wine. I'm up late at night doing this Parcast. Yeah. I apologize, guys. I'm so sorry.
That was why.
I'm so sorry. I just thought about that girl who like made her whole TikTok like I made love with my dog, and then she got arrested. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she got arrested, and then she endorsed like one of the presidential candidates, and people were like, "Well, do we want to listen to the dog girl?" Like, I don't know.
That's like the mom who said, posted a picture of her son and said, "I was born your mother, but I'm your lover, your past lover," or something like that. Like, that was
that's crazy. I remember, not like super connected to that one, but there's like a mom that did OnlyFans. And she has her OnlyFans tags on her like SUV, and she drops her son off at like middle school, and then people are just like, "Yo, like your son probably gets bullied, bro. Like, there's no way. Yeah. Like, you drop your son off with your OnlyFans van? Are you kidding me?" And then apparently she got banned from like getting too close to the school because it does promote that. And then she's like, "Guys, like, can you believe the school like banned my car from getting too close with the sticker on? Like, I'm gonna sue the school." It's like, I don't know, man. Like, if I was obviously the kids are gonna be kids. They probably know what that means already. But like, if I can't avoid having my son be exposed to OnlyFans in middle school, I probably would.
Yeah.
That's a fair banning, man. Like, there's no way that mom thinks she has like the moral high ground in a middle school parking lot.
Yeah, someone needs to protect that kid from the, because that's, I mean,
he gets, dude, 100% he gets bullied. No way.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the kid.
There's like stories where people post pictures of their parents who do that, and then what happens to the kids. There was that girl with the sister. Her sister, same thing. Like she like did with her like 10-year-old brother or something like that. Brought it up and was like, "How do you feel about it?"
I saw crying. That. Yeah. She went up to her. She did it to her brother and her dad. She was like, "Oh, how do you feel about the fact that I have a successful OnlyFans?" And then they're like, "Okay." And then I think the brother said he wishes she didn't do it. Yeah, and it's just so sad. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, even back in the day, like medieval ages, if you're, if you were born of a prostitute, you got made fun of back in the medieval ages. People threw rocks at you. Like nowadays, like people expect the bullying to be like okay, or like, people are accepting of it. It's like, I don't know, dude. Like some things just kind of transcend the ages. It's just going to be a constant.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't like the red light district was out there bragging,
they try to keep it under wraps, no photos, no tourists. Like it
didn't matter how much money you were making. If you
twisted times.
I mean, the money was always exploitatively immense, but not. This level's a little bit different, but the bragging rights. I don't know.
The homeschool the kid at that point, unless the home is being used for filming. Never mind.
Yeah.
My God.
And to bring it back, like I think that Sukiyaki should not be allowed near any official building or anything. He should not be allowed in the capital. Momo needs to put him in a home.
Here's a good question.
He's been decrepit for too long.
If you were Momonosuke and you had like full control of Wano,
I would charge him with like child endangerment towards his father.
Yeah, that was my question. I was just like, okay, like what would you do to Sukiyaki? Would you welcome him back with open arms and understand his plight, or would you punish him to some extent?
Here's the thing about Sukiyaki, right? Like, is he a strong fighter or not? Because he treated like the thing is like at the end of the day, he can't be because I'm not. Hey, listen, this is in the fictional world. It's One Piece thing. But 90% of Odin's issues when he was a baby, my guy was out there fighting the Yakuza and gambling at like 6 and like in a brothel at like 4 or whatever it was. Like, you can't tell me that Sukiyaki couldn't discipline his ass. Well, he just exiled him.
That's his son.
Like that's and he just exiled him and he was disappointed at him. It's like, if that doesn't tell you there's something wrong with this dude, I don't know. Not even Kaido did that.
Maybe.
I'm not saying Kaido's better. I'm just saying that at least Kaido, like, he didn't exile Yamato. He's like, hey,
he still got her under control.
You're wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. I'm not saying beating her ass was the right solution. I'm just saying Sukiyaki was a little bit worse. Like,
he kind of just let Odin free, which makes me wonder. Like, so normally when you have a strong character, it's because they have a good gene pool, right? Luffy, he's got Dragon and whatever mommy he has. Ace has Roger and Rouge. Yamato has Kaido and whatever girl Kaido banged at the time. But for Odin, he didn't get that strength from Sukiyaki, right? Who was his mom?
The way Sukiyaki referred to him though, like in that first chapter, in like I think it's the first chapter of the Odin flashback, where it's like his like assistant was telling him, and he was just like disappointed. I'm like,
you're the dad.
I just feel like you're a bad dad. Like,
my son, he's the worst. He's over here causing havoc, and it's like he's 5. Do something about it, man. And then Sukiyaki has that stupid pose where he has like his legs crossed, like finger up his nose. It's like, dude, what is going on, Sukiyaki?
Yeah, he's been like, and that's the thing, like Momo. Man. Like, that's the thing with like grandkids, right? You get a better, the father doesn't, or the father doesn't agree with their parents or whatever, and then the grandchild kind of like mends the thing. I think Momo's well in his rights to be like, let me look at the family logs. Let me check this shit out.
Yeah, what is in Odin's journal? Huh? Sukiyaki did nothing. All right.
Yeah, and the thing is, it went into his adulthood, right? Because Odin had to like become a daimyo, and he was sent to like a lawless area, and he had to like prove himself. My man, what was it? Like, there was like a famine or something, and he rerouted a river. He accidentally flooded it, sure, but if you just gave him guidance and he wasn't just a solo rogue monster from like ages 0 to 18, maybe he would be a normal, like a helpful,
that is
like
very
a
true.
And like it's just like, it's just wild that like hey, we don't know what Sukiyaki tried, I'm sure, but if Tama is in any example of what he tried with Odin, my man let Tama just drink poison water, dude. Like, come on, he did not care. And now I'm upset because now I'm anticipating like we got Tama in the thing, we got speed, like Sukiyaki about to show up and make me angry.
And the worst part is that he looked really cool in his intro with the Tengu mask too. So we're like, he's gonna be like a cool character, guys. like Usopp's met his match. Look at that nose.
I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't like it made so much sense once you hear it and you think about it, but I had so many cool Tengu theories, like, oh my god, he's from Skypiea. Turns out that was all a scam. He was just hiding in the worst way possible. Hey, let me hide in the forest as a very extravagant Tengu. Like, that makes sense. I'm an 8-foot tall, 10-foot tall monster man with a Tengu mask and wings. That's gonna get no attention. Surely that makes sense to everybody here. Like, let's just dress up all the Straw Hats in Tengu. They'll blend in like that. No, that's not what they did. He even did that for Luffy. He's like, oh, now you're gonna blend in. He put him in rags. Get your ass in rags, Sukiyaki. Oh my god. Yeah, like, this guy's so dumb.
Yeah, he's not the smartest dude. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
these Sukiyaki conversations bring me to life every week.
I can't believe we keep bringing it back to. But
it's like a meme now. Like, they either look forward to our Sukiyaki conversations or they vehemently hate it. There's like no in between.
Yeah, actually, you're right. They don't skip it. They just like, damn it, we have to listen to this for the gold nugget. They might say something really good at the end of this one.
To be fair, it's my fault for not timestamping these. I apologize, you guys. Me and Par go on so many tangents, it's hard to timestamp it unless I'm that one guy who's like the timestamp god.
Yeah, the timestamp god.
Yeah, the timestamp god who shows up every now and then.
Yeah, they really are with how in depth they are.
We should just rename him Quartzark.
Yeah. He somehow knows.
Give him the Quartzark title.
It's like he hears our thoughts a little bit too sometimes with those timestamps. Like, I was like, did I say that out loud? I don't think so.
So on to the first page of the chapter finally. You know, we hit the 40-minute requirement of talking about Sukiyaki. We got Luffy. He's excited to be an Elbaf. He says everything is big. He talks about Ussop. He talks about Dory and Brogy. And my real big takeaway from this all is just the fact that Loki doesn't really say anything about the Ussop name drop or the Dory and Brogy name drop. He's kind of like, hey, listen to me, brat. I'm talking to you. And people might not see that as a big thing, but it's like, okay, right? He might not know about Ussop, but Ussop is also his brother's savior. Like, that dude, Hardin gave Ussop that title of God Ussop. That's the reason why Hardin quit Buggy and joined Luffy. And then as far as Dory and Brogy goes, these guys are like legends on Elbaf, right?
Yeah.
Like, they are the giant warrior pirates. So the fact that Loki doesn't really have a reaction to any of these names, it did kind of stand out to me at least. But how do you feel about this first page?
No, I think I didn't see it like that. But now that you say that, I think 100% the Hyrden one with the Ussop thing is huge, because we see with this the new giant pirates, it's a big deal with the Straw Hats, right? Did we see Road anything related to Ussop? We saw him single out Nami, but he didn't say like God Ussop or anything like that, which is interesting, obviously.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Because Hyrden was very Hyrden. I think the gravity of that moment of proclaiming him God Ussop is so much heavier now that we know that he is royalty, and he's him aiming for the King of the Giants back in Dressrosa. So not that it was hollow, but it didn't. It was just like anybody could say that. It could be Bellamy saying I'm going to be King of the Pirates. It's way different now that we know that it's like Hyrden's like Ace a little bit, you know what I mean? He's like, okay, it's different if Ace says he's gonna be King of the Pirates, right? Like, that's way different than like a Bellamy. And so Hyrden saying this is God Ussop, right? And his brother proclaiming to be Sun God, and surely he doesn't like agree, or like he probably doesn't call Loki Sun God or believe that. So him going around and going to Ussop and be like, this is a god, you know what I mean? That is really hefty now. And Loki not knowing that is one thing. Maybe like, because Road also didn't say anything, I don't think. But then like you said, like the Dory Brogy mentioned, there's a lot of ways you could take it, but it's like Loki has an agenda and he doesn't care. I don't think, like, even later on when he talked about like, I could just wipe out anybody, it doesn't matter who, right? He's very confident in his ability for anything really, and to the point that he doesn't even need to do information gathering. You know what I mean? Like Doflamingo goes to prison. What does he want? Newspapers, right? He wants information, even though he thinks he probably like. I'm sure that he probably didn't think that Impel Down was his last place he'd be in. He wanted information, right? And the thing is, like, Loki is just like, no, like, listen to me. You know what I mean? That is very interesting, and the specific things that he ignored also very interesting.
Like, it kind of makes me wonder if later on he'll meet Ussop and be like, oh, this is who that Straw Hat bastard was talking about, huh? Like, my brother mentioned this guy. Like, I should have put it together.
Yeah. It might be he sees him and then he recognizes him. Like, maybe Ussop wasn't enough. Like, he needs to see the nose. He needs to see the hair and stuff like that, right?
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be very funny if Loki was just, like, in a rivalry of his own with Ussop, and Usopp's like, what did I do?
Yeah, he's like, actually, I'm Hearted Savior, not you. Like something like that.
Yeah.
My mom has the #1 OnlyFans page.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry, dude. I don't know. Dude, okay, to be fair, me and Par were talking about like politics for a solid hour, so like I'm already revved up too. Before we started recording, because it was our first time talking in a while, so it was like, hey, you see the election?
Very
polarizing. But
yeah,
so now, like, because of that, it spurred all the OnlyFans talks.
That's not a good
what happens. What happens is that Loki says, hey, listen when I'm talking to you, and because he yelled, a lot of the animals of the forest took note of it. They're showing up, and before we get the animal reveal, Loki says that he's the sun god from all the legends we passed down on the island. Don't speak unless I say so. Human. Huge thing right there. Just, oh, I am the sun god that's been passed down. And then we also get his bounty alongside the fact that he is a special bounty. Not just a regular one, but a special bounty. A lot to dig in here. What do you want to tackle first? The sun god part or the bounty part?
I think the sun god's kind of straightforward in the sense that by saying it's passed down, well, we found out the devil fruit is passed down. It'd be weirder if they were separate things and separate understandings. So there's one and the same is probably like the 99 percentile thought right now. Him saying don't speak unless I say so, human, is very it's very interesting because now we know like Rodo, right? Like he respects him. Why Goldberg said the thing that, you know, like when Gerd said like, oh, he's a shame of Elbaf, and Goldberg was like, oh, I think Rodo would be kind of proud, right? And now we know that Loki's perspective is one, proclaiming he's the sun god, but then two, being like racist towards humans. That's Rodo's current like shtick, you know what I mean? He's role playing Loki in a way. So both very interesting things. I think the human line also plays another aspect later on when we talk about Shanks, but we'll get there in a bit. The special bounty, TCB editor Fiso came into the stream and said that they're going to add world government there. They just didn't do it like in the first thing, but I was like, is this the world government doing this? Because now there's multiple bounties. Like, is this like cross skill? Like, who's putting this bounty? Is it Elbaf?
Yeah, that's what I thought of too. Like, I saw special. I was like, wait, isn't it Elbaf bounty?
Yeah,
that makes sense too.
They said that in the block text or whatever text thing that they add on, it said world government, so they're just gonna add that. I'm curious what Biz will do. We'll see that, I guess, tomorrow. But this is a world government bounty, 100%. Special bounty, very odd, because is special bounty a ceremonial thing? Right? Is it actually strength based? But then what would make it special, right? Why would you give if it's because the thing is, like, if it's a legitimate bounty, it's just a bounty. Why
it's gotta be like alive only, dead only. Maybe there's like a third condition where like maybe they only want it for its devil fruit, or maybe they want it because he's nobility. There's a lot of reasons why this could be a special bounty. But I think it's, it's definitely something we should take note of. And then there's also the 2.6 billion, which we can get to in a second, but I'm sure you've seen it, but people have been bringing up that when you add together Loki's bounty with Luffy's bounty, you get 5.6, which is Gomu. So people are like, yo, like that's the sun god's at play again, bro. Like I feel like because of that and because of everything we see in this chapter when it comes to Loki's personality, I truly believe right now that whatever he has, it is going to be something that reminds us of Luffy. Whether it's a gag or it's serious, it's going to be there.
One wrench I'll throw into that number game is that we don't know Luffy's new bounty.
That is true, but hey, November 10th, 2024, right now, 3 billion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. In story, it should not be, but
yeah,
as far as we know, it is. And yeah, that's an interesting thing. The way I was looking at it is Oda kind of does a progressive thing. He either does it in reverse or forward, but like, so he gave us Dory and Brogy 1.6 or whatever each, and then now we get Loki's, and it's kind of, I think it's a perspective thing, right? Like Dory and Brogy, they fought the Gorosei and they won in a way, and they were the giant pirate menaces from a century ago. They're literally legends, and they have a 1.6, and yet whatever happened, I guess 6 years ago, whatever it is, because he's been imprisoned, or actually we don't know when this bounty was placed, but it wouldn't make sense for it to be after he's been imprisoned, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say 6 years prior. 2.6 billion is a wild perspective to give off of two giants that just returned from legends.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, what the hell did this guy do?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, and again, like, to bring it in, like, Luffy's not gonna have the same. That would make no sense for Luffy to have the same bounty, right? So I feel like after Loki's bounty, we're gonna get the Luffy elevated bounty to give it more perspective. Kind of like in this chapter, how like Loki was like on airs about these certain things, and then Luffy's like, yeah, but I'm like Luffy. Like you don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you probably haven't heard about me. You know what I mean? Like animals kind of like me, you know? Like Luffy just walked around like that. And so I think that's kind of what the bounties is, but we can't scoff. Like no matter what, we cannot scoff at 2 point. Like when like Luffy have 6, it doesn't matter. Loki getting 2.6 is insane.
I think 2.6 is insane, but you know, people gave me pushback when I said that, because I also say that it's not fitting for a main villain yet. Because Luffy has always punched above his bounty. Like, Kaido, for example, is 4.6, right? So if our newest villain is 2.6, it would be, you gotta admit, like, it wouldn't make sense numerically to just go down that heavy. So that's why, like, I see the bounty, I admit it's really cool, I love the number and everything, but it doesn't strike me as, like, a bounty we should worry about if we're Luffy. Like, if it's Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, Usopp, all them, yes, this is crazy. But for Luffy himself, it's like, okay, 2.6, he can handle this. It's no big deal.
It also doesn't make sense because, like, people were like, okay, so what I brought up was, what the hell did he do 6 years ago that somehow leaves giants in, like, not, like, completely irrelevant to world history, to the point where, like, they're still thinking that saliva, drool, it melts rocks and stuff like that.
I love that you always bring that up. I was in your live stream and you brought that up too. You're like, that is your go-to thing with giants. Their saliva, it dissolves rocks, dude. That was Stelly said that. I just love that.
This is a royal that actually like studied stuff, and he's discombobulated about that. Just made no sense to me.
Yeah,
and this is a royal. So then, what do normal people think? Well, normal people don't even know that giants exist, right? When the Straws got to Little Garden, they're like, "Huh? Who?" And the irony is that the Navy literally has a giant squad. Like it's like the world government's soldiers have an entire giant squad. They posted up at Marineford, and yet people are like, giants exist? And yet, like, somehow we're supposed to believe that a 2.6 billion berry bounty giant somehow got infamy like within the last decade, and nobody knows about it. And so if they got that bounty in secrecy and the thing was covered up, okay, that's fine. But then, like, you know, like, nobody has ever mentioned him. Like, not a single soul. Like, only Big Mom in a flashback, I guess. Like, and in reference to Lola, like, why didn't Lola bring this up? You know what I mean? Like, Lola could have, like, I don't know. There's, like, so many different entry points for, like, what happened with Loki. Like, why that stuff happened. I get it. We don't have Loki yet. But, like, just narratively, like, you don't get 2.6 billion and do nothing, right? Look at the Straw Hats. Look at the Kid. Look at Law. They had to take down 2 Yonkos to get 3 billion each. You know what I mean? So like, what did he have to do? He had to take down a Yonko level world event. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of ridiculous to think that Loki did that.
Maybe.
And people were saying that maybe it's the devil fruit. But then I'm like, okay, but they gave Law's devil fruit a 5 billion berry bounty. And then when he ate it, they gave it a 100 million berry bounty. It completely dropped like once
For
Law
no
ate
reason.
it.
My thing is the reason why we haven't heard of Loki beforehand is simply because he's been done with. Like somebody already beat him, and that's why he doesn't get the talk anymore, which we'll get to here in a second because he gives us the exact timeline. Which
Yeah.
I guess we could just bring up now, but you said 6 years ago. Like that's when Shanks became a Yonko. Like there's a good chance that this is all correlated, and maybe the reason why Loki isn't talked about anymore is because he's done. Like people are like, oh, that guy that Shanks beat, like the guy that Shanks beat to become a Yonko, yeah, like he's captured, like he's chained up, like nobody cares about him anymore. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, there's a few interesting things with the timeline. I'm not fresh on it. I haven't had a chance because the Reverie, but um that's also when Ace sets like just before Ace set sail, right? Like it's around that time, right?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm I don't want to bring up the full context that I'm bringing up, but like we talked about how Loki may not have committed the crime that he was, acquitted of, or not acquitted of, convicted of. And it would be really crazy if he's been bluffing that he ate the devil fruit. Like, it would be really crazy if he actually didn't eat the devil fruit, but he is like forced to say that he is for some reason. Whether it would be a pact with like Harold or something like that, or just like he needed to keep up the thing that he had the devil fruit or whatever. Or maybe he can emulate the powers of the devil fruit, so he's acting like he has it. Um, but I'm saying that because it could be that I don't know even like because I think I brought this up before, but Ace found his devil fruit on a giant's ship, like on a Viking ship at minimum. And it would be really crazy if that was the actual fruit that was supposed to be passed down and Loki never ate it, but then it just got lost and like Loki had to like keep up the thing that he did eat it for some reason. And like there could be a lot of nuance to it. It could be that Harold lost it and to keep his honor up he was like I took it. And the thing is like if Shanks for example has fire powers without a devil fruit, right? So it's like
Yeah.
maybe Loki could do fire powers and people just believe that he has the thing. He's like, see, look at this, and it's like all
Oh.
trickery. You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
he could be like Tomorrow Black, where he's like, don't make me activate my Conqueror's Hockey, my Dragon Sun powers. Like maybe
I
Loki's like, oh, don't make me activate Elbaf's might. And he like clenches
Yeah,
his fist.
it could be that, but like with actual like more backing to it, right? Given that
Yeah.
he has surely he has hockey, surely he has all this stuff, right? The only thing like and again, I'm not 100 the theory that I have is separate to this, and I mentioned the part about Ace in that ship and it's not connected to this part at all. And the main detractor to what I just said would be this the Sea Stone chains right, they said that the sea stone. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
said
yeah.
it in
It's
this movie.
it's Stone.
Yeah, the sea stone chains actually matter. So like unless he's like bluffing about like the sea stone like doing anything to him, then I don't like because then the bluff would be that he's actually too weak to break out. It's not that the sea stones are inhibiting his power. He actually just can't, which is like kind of like that like sea stone is apparently as hard as diamond. Like if even if he was like strong, like
Not even
apparently the
Ryuo could
wall.
break it.
Right, and apparently the wall that like Road was in was strong enough to hold in a giant, right? So like, and but Luffy was able to crack through. So there is a dichotomy of power here that Luffy surpasses giant strength, enough strength that the giants made a prison made to hold giants, and Luffy just broke out. So like in that regard, you could be a strong giant and Luffy still beats you. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the thing. Like Loki could be plenty strong and Luffy's still stronger, right? So you don't even have to say that like oh he can't break out the chains, he's weak sauce. No, that's not what I'm saying here. But I'm saying like there could be like Loki's a whole thing about bluff and mischief and trickery. It could be that like he's kind of bluffing here, and it could be that there's like a parallel with the Ussop stuff that people always bring up, right? And this would be one of those things where it's like he's bluffing, but like this bluff is something where he's like bluffing like, oh, I can't break out because of the sea stone because I ate the devil fruit.
Oh my
when in
God.
reality he can't break out because he can't break out, and they chained him like out the ass, and it's like that's kind of unfair that he got chained up that hard, you know? So it could be something like that. That's all I'm bringing up.
Okay, but I like the idea, but hear me out. I don't want that to be the case. I do hope he has like something to back up his claims, because it would give the Shanks thing like a lot more credence as well. Like I think that'd be a lot more hype.
Yeah. We'll get to the Shanks part and my take on that part, because that's also separate from what I just said too. What I said about that is honestly worse than, because we talked about it on the stream, and I hate that idea. It's just that was my reaction when I read this chapter, and so I'm like, Loki's kind of feeling weird, but we haven't gotten to that part yet. So we'll get there.
So Loki special bounty 2.6 billion. He says 6 years, and we also get the reveal that this is the treasure tree atom. We finally get that confirmed. We pretty much had an inkling of that the entire time, but it was just never stated. But now that we got the treasure tree atom, how do you feel about it? Are you happy with this?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm glad we got the name. I think in reaction, maybe I was also tired. I feel like when I anticipated us getting the name of it, I felt like in the past, I'm like, oh, this is a big chapter. Whenever we get it, it's gonna be huge, right? And we got it this one, but I feel like we already got the reveal like last chapter or the chapter before. Like the name thing, it didn't play the role that I thought it did, and that's fine. But I remember when I was reading, I was like, yep.
Yeah, it's like a matter of fact. Like, by the way, this is the treasure tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you didn't think it was the Atom Tree, that's kind of on you. Like, that's kind of what Oda was saying with this one.
Yeah, he was going pretty hard in on it.
Yeah.
But now that we have it, it's like, it brings up the question about the Thousand Sunny again. Like, how did we get this wood? Is there a giant that's like working on the black market? And I wouldn't be super surprised. Or maybe like Loki's subordinates, the humans, are the ones who are, selling it on the black market to get money.
They were hilarious.
Why were you laughing? Why'd you laugh?
Because when I saw the gremlins, I was like, what the hell are these? Like,
why'd you call them gremlins? You mean the swordsmen?
Because
the swordsmen of the underworld?
I don't know what... Because some of them, their swords are like sticking out of them. It was weird.
No, they're simply holding their swords.
Nah, dude. They look like straight out of Mario. The Shy Guys, they look like Shy Guys.
Oh, they kind of do.
And with just swords on them, like randomly. At least the Shy Guys had little hands that like that kind of a thing. But like these Shy Guys were just like Oda just implanted swords on them. There's no starting point for the blade. It was super weird. But yeah, when they showed up, because it was like the animals, and I was reading all the animals, I was like, oh, this is sick. And then I saw Mumbo. I was like, what is this? What am I looking at? And
Mumbo.
Yeah, and I was like, huh? Who are these guys? And then I kind of like got the gist of it. They were like people, like Loki's followers, I guess. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I thought they were kind of funny. But before we get to them, though, Loki does say, hey, can you help me, get out of here? The key's up in the village somewhere. I can't force you to do it, but, this is the land of the dead, the realm of the dead, the lowest layer of Elbaf. It's a place no one dares to approach. Criminals and the condemned are dropped down here. It's a prison and execution ground. And then we see, which I wasn't there for your reaction. I was still I was taking like a little cat nap, but when you saw like that hand reach up, smash that tree and crush you like a can, what did you think? Like before we got the reveal of the animals, when you saw those panels, bro, like were you like pissing your pants?
See, here's the thing. I didn't even realize what was happening.
No.
No, because I had to go back because like the way Oda did it was like, oh, Luffy just ended up in the gorilla's hand, and I was like, wait, when did that happen? And I went back, it's like, it didn't happen. Oda just put him there.
He's just crushing a tree.
Yeah, the animals were not menacing. The one thing I
What?
wanted to check was like the size. I was like, oh, these are just through Skyna. Like, because that's the thing. It was like Loki was building up these dudes, and I'm like, these are just Luffy's like. There's nothing to Luffy. Luffy just ate a bunch of these, right? So it was. I think the only thing that was a little off-putting was the gorilla's head. I was like, what is this? Wait, like, what's happening with that head?
Yeah, he
Like,
looks a little bit
it's
silly.
Pinhead Larry, like Patrick, like straight. It looks like Caveman Patrick. You remember that episode?
Yeah, I remember Caveman Patrick.
Yeah, yeah. It looks straight up like Caveman Patrick.
Ooh,
100%.
which I gotta say, when I was in Japan, I watched a lot of SpongeBob every night.
Yeah? Is it popping in Japan?
No, so in Japan, like when you stay in a hotel, like they only have like, just like America, they don't have like the news channels and like the sports channels. So like late at night, I was like, okay, I don't want to watch this. Like, I don't know what's going on. And 90% of Japanese channels that I've seen, it's either anime, which is nice, or it's people going around Japan and eating food and saying, "Oh, sugoi, oishii."
No way.
I'm not even joking. And it's like, if you guys have been to Japan, you know what I'm talking about. Where like all of these productions are so low quality. It's like if me or you were to walk outside with our cell phones and just record each other eating food at a store. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that is literally what it is.
Dang, they got a meta.
Yeah, yeah. And they have the reaction meta over there too, where they have
That's
like a cast of
crazy.
people, like 4 or 5 people. And I noticed this many, many years ago when I went back to Japan. But when I came back, it was still the same. Where they have like a group of 5 people who sit on a couch and react to people eating, or they react to these TV shows, and they always
Damn.
have their camera on the top left, like it's a YouTuber reacting to anime. So
Yeah.
because I didn't want to watch that every day, I ended up watching Netflix SpongeBob, because I guess it's just over there in Japan, which is kind of funny because like Crunchyroll doesn't work in Japan because it's the whole thing where like Japan doesn't like
They don't
Crunchyroll that
license.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Franchise. Yeah.
So yeah, I just watch a lot of SpongeBob.
That's
It's
interesting.
like a fun fact.
Wait, Netflix has SpongeBob or just in Japan?
I don't know. I guess I never tried here in America, and I haven't tried ever since I got back.
Isn't it Paramount? I feel like that wouldn't it be on their thing?
That's what I
Paramount
thought.
Plus?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And that's why
Something
like I
like
saw
that.
the chance to watch SpongeBob again after all these years, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That was
that's
great.
fair.
They had Japanese dub, and it sucked because since I was in Japan, like a lot of TV shows were only in Japanese, so I didn't have a chance to watch anything else really.
Dang.
But all that to say is that this monkey does look a little bit weird, and I'm sure you might have noticed it too. But people have been comparing these animals to the animals from Strong World. How do you feel about that?
See, I wouldn't peg myself as a strong world expert.
Yeah.
But what I will say, I haven't gone back, and what I will say is that's fine. But the thing is, people got to recognize that the reason why that is the case is because Oda said that he used Strong World to re-practice how to draw the anatomy of animals in a way that like he enjoyed it, and we see that. And he was saying that like in the future I'm gonna have to this is in preparation for the next thing, and I think his editor said when he got to WANO or whatever, or not WANO, Impel Down, was it Impel Down? Yeah, when he saw Impel, the editors saw Impel Down, is like, oh, is this why you did all this in Strong World? And he's like, yeah, like duh. And then like Strong World comes in, and there's more, not Strong World, Wano, another example, but Jack the Drought. And if you watch the first like 10 minutes of the movie, Jack is there, but it's just one of Shiki's animals. So
Hear me out. I 100% agree with you. I feel like sometimes, because of theories, and we do this all the time, we see things that sometimes are just normal, and we want to like spin it for the theory, like, oh, these animals look like Strong World animals. At first, I didn't see it, because I was of the same mindset, like, okay, like, this is literally just how Oda draws gorillas. Like, the gorilla, for example, I played One Piece Odyssey. You fight this gorilla 1,000 times in that game. It's so cursed. Same with the snake, right? And the Jack the Drought mammoth we see. But later on in the chapter, it gets more damning. It's so, to the point where I can't just say, oh, that's just how Oda draws animals. The moose that Harden and Stanson catch, it is such a unique design, it actually fits Strong World. And if that's not even the case, which I think it is the case, but we see the panel of Robin, Brooke, and the ship, right? Ship Eric. You see, like, right after that, you see, like, this shark pop up out of the ocean, and that exact design is what is in Strong World. Like, it is literally, like, 1-to-1. So at first, I didn't see it like you. Like, the gorillas, the mammoth, I was like, okay, like, it's just
No, the
animals.
moose sold me. If the moose is in Strong World, I didn't know that. See, the moose
and the shark,
me
1-to-1.
Because mooses are one of my favorite creatures because they're just tanks. Like, it's just moose. It, like, I remember my physics teacher in high school showed me a video where a moose totaled a 16-wheeler truck that was driving like
big.
50 miles per hour on a road, and it totaled the truck, flew down the road, and the moose just got up and ran away.
Probably killed like a family of 10.
Yeah, the mooses are insane. That's just like what God put tanks for what reason? What reason did a moose need to naturally be able to survive a 16-wheel truck fully loaded driving 50 miles? That's like an ungodly amount of natural ability to just tank stuff. Like, I'm sorry, I don't like rhinos, like, but a moose, and it can also be really fast, and they're just like, it's just absurdly tall. And one time, I was driving on the highway, and there was a moose, and it was on the highway. And I like, because I'm looking out for deer all the time. It's the middle of winter. It was late at night. It was like 3 a.m. I'm the only one on the road, and I see this large figure on the road, and my car is an SUV, and it was taller than me. And I was like, I'm driving. I can't even, like, what do I do? Do I drive like 40 miles per hour? It can run that fast.
Wait,
like,
wait. You have an SUV?
Yeah.
Is it because you have a family?
Well, this is when I was younger. So
okay.
Hand me down, yeah.
I was about to say, like, I recently got an SUV too because both my cars totaled, and I thought about it. I was like, man, like, I used to drive sedans and, like, you know, two doors, and now I drive an SUV, bro.
Back.
It's over.
Yeah, you can't go back after an
SUV. It's crazy,
I don't
man.
know how the rest of the world lives with that. Well, the rest of the world lives in walkable cities.
Yeah,
like that, so that's different. Yeah.
Damn, dude, mooses are scary, bro. Like, I understand the fear. Like, when you see one of those guys, like, I know it sounds like you're exaggerating, but literally, when you see a moose in front of you and you're barreling towards it at like 50 miles an hour plus, like, your life is, it's kind of cooked in a way.
Yeah, you're dead.
Like, it will break through the windshield, it'll stab you, it'll get you into a car crash. Like, you don't really survive a moose hit.
Yeah, like, so in my state, there are bears and occasionally there are mooses, but like for bears, I remember our school like would put like, they would like city would put alert like, oh, there's a bear sighting, blah blah. For a moose, they actually shut down like parts of the roads. A moose is here, guys, get out, save yourself. I remember like a town was like, all right, we're closing down the roads because we saw a moose, and I was like, that is insane. Because it's like, we're just not equipped for a moose to just be walking around. Like, this is insane. But yeah, and that moose in this chapter, when I saw it, I was like, what the hell is a dinosaur? It
looks crazy, moose? Huh?
Yeah, I'm like, Oda doesn't know what a moose is because he just made a moose unnecessarily scarier than it needed to be. Also, its eyes, were the eyes the same in Strong World too?
No, the eyes are like the only thing that's different, but I think in Strong World it had like the dotted pattern on the side, which is what sold me, because this moose has the dotted pattern too.
That is okay. So moose okay, see, I did not know that. I'm sorry if you came to my stream and you were trying to tell me about the moose thing and Strong World thing, and I said like, he just draws the cat. I didn't see that. If the moose is down 1-to-1, yeah, all right.
The moose, and then different. It's like the moose itself. I was like, okay, the moose is one thing, right? I needed one more, and I'm telling you, man, that shark right after that page, also 1-to-1. Because it's not just like a fat shark, it's like a skinny, like weird looking shark. Yeah.
Very
and
long
that's it.
Shark, yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, like this is Strong World coded.
These are Shiki's animals then. Shiki brought these.
That's what it feels like. Or maybe this is where Shiki got the animals in the first place. Like if he were to retcon the IQ plant thing, right?
Yeah. Hey, it could be that Elbaf has like an IQ plant. Like,
yeah, maybe it's like the Atom Tree leaves or something.
Yeah, and that would like 100%, but like mythologically, that's what it would essentially be like.
Yeah, and it makes sense heavily because, you know, we have the Sunlight Tree Eve, right? And then we have the treasure tree Adam. But if Adam and Eve are supposed to be opposites, then this could be like the moonlight tree Adam. And then obviously the IQ plant, it grows in the moonlight. Boom, there you go. Like this Adam tree is going to be very important, and it will have to deal with either the sun or the moon or the ocean. We're going to learn a lot about this crazy ass tree, even though Loki just dropped it arbitrarily, right? Like, it's Adam tree, whatever.
Give me 1 second. Hold on. Yeah, I just got so hungry that I was like I feel like I got an alert in my brain, like a game thing, like about to malfunction, about to pass out,
red
go
bar.
get food. Yeah. And so I was just like, I haven't seen that notification pop up in mad long, and so I was just like,
no, I get that.
I ran down and got a pizza.
Yeah, no, I understand, man. I like when I get that notification, it's usually not like a red bar. It's just I start shaking a little bit. It's like, okay, I gotta eat. I gotta grab something, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was about to just fall asleep while talking.
We were talking about One Piece, like, all right,
yeah. No, that's never happened.
I mean,
before,
it's late
so
at night, right?
Also, I've been talking for so long that, like,
yeah.
I mean, I can keep going. It's just that, like, I just forgot to eat. Last time I ate was like 6, and I should have had lunch. But
I blame the scans, bro. Like, normally, for you guys watching, like, we record this at like 11 a.m., 12, like we record this kind of midday afternoonish, but because it released so late, and then we had the Reverie and our own live streams and videos we had to do, like, we're recording this at, I think it's 3 a.m. for you, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and for me, like, I stay up this late all the time because this is when I get off of work, but like, dude, I'm tired right now. I want to go to bed, but here we are, we're chilling.
Yeah.
So back to it though. We're talking about the animals, the stupid gorilla, the Shiki stuff. The snake bites the rock, and Loki says that this place is known as the First World. And I'm curious to see. Yeah, it's fucking good. Dai Isekai is what they call it. Dai Isekai. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. Daisen Isekai or Dai Isekai. Either way, yeah. So I'm curious to see where you are with this, because I kind of see both. But do you see this as the first world of Elbaf, as in the 9 realms of Norse mythology? Because, 9 realms also translates to 9 worlds as well. So it could be that. Or do you think it's literal, like, in the entire world of One Piece, this is where life first started? Where are you?
I don't know where I'm at, but I will say in reaction, I was thinking, like, Hunter x Hunter, where, like...
Oh, that awful anime?
Well, like, this is the world, and you just follow this entire series, and then they tell you, like, oh wait, no, the map is like this, and we were just like in the weakest part. And what in this scenario would be flipped, in that this is the progenitor of life, and it's spread out from here, which would make sense if, like, the SIQ, Treasure Atom Tree, all this stuff, like, conceptually coexisted here and then spread out amongst everything else, and life adapted as it did elsewhere. So that's where, like, reactionary wise I was at. I have to sit on it a lot more, but First World to me gives that connotation, like, first. It's like,
this is the Big Bang area.
Yeah, especially because they said, like, these things have been alive for, like, thousands of years, right? So, like, that's kind of huge. These are, like, the Nolas of, like, here, which, gives Nola a different context, too. Like,
who do you think would win in a battle, Nola or this giant snake? I give it a Nola.
Snake, easy.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Nola has... Oh, never mind. Nola's like a soy boy, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're filled up with air, so the minute you attack them, they kind of just cut.
No, Nola wasn't like that. Nola was from the surface level.
Oh, sorry. So I was thinking about everything else in Skypiea, right?
Yeah.
Everything else in Skypiea is, like, inflated with crazy oxygen, so they just kind of crumble.
Yeah.
I give it a Nola.
Nola was famously able to, like, Zoro couldn't scratch it pre-time skip, which made Nolan's attack even more insane. Because, well, not like, gassing a pre-time skip Zoro, like, as far as post-time skip.
I mean,
Zoro.
You are the number 1 Zoro fan in the community.
Oh yeah, 100%. Zoro got, like, no love at the Reverie this time, I don't think. At least I wasn't there for, like, any sword
I still feel bad I didn't
That-
talk too much at the Reverie, because every now and then I'll see people say, "Oh, Sai, Par, why aren't you guys talking?" And it's like,
Yeah.
sorry guys, disappointed y'all.
No, I mean, like, I mean, it's the thing. There was a lot of new faces too.
Yeah, like
a lot hard.
you know what they say, right? When Patrick Star is talking, you don't say anything. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, but you made your moments count.
Yeah, I had like 2 moments and that was it. And then I headed out because my camera died, which you guys know of. I mean, I think my camera's going to die before we end this video, to be honest. So
Yeah,
you guys will get a taste of
we'll
that
just, like,
firsthand.
draw a stick figure in for the ending part.
I've been putting pictures of my cats, like whenever it dies.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe people start wanting the camera to just die.
I used to have like this picture I gave out back in college where I was a partier. You know, I'm Asian, you know, Asians have like a whole sorority fraternity revolving around them no matter what state you go to. And I used to go to some of those parties, and what would happen is I had like Polaroids of myself that I would hand out to people that just say drink. And it was me holding a couple bottles like this. It was so stupid.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I had a couple of bottles like this, and I had sunglasses on, and it just said drink at the bottom. And I was like, guys, if you ever feel lonely, like if you're ever drinking by yourself, here's my Polaroid. And I used to hand those
fun.
out. Yeah, so I think I put one of those as the picture one time. I don't remember, but yeah, it was stupid.
Dang, I didn't know that.
There's some lore before I got arrested.
Yeah, they had to add that one in too.
I'll put in my mugshot next time.
Oh, that's a sick one.
Yeah, I got a mugshot, but I'm like, I have like a shaved head, so I look like a criminal too. The police officer was like, "Oh, you look like you belong here, son." I was like, "Damn, dude, that's just my first time being arrested."
It definitely didn't do the crime that I don't know if you're gonna reiterate here, but yeah,
I used to sell a lot of drugs.
Okay, well there you go. Definitely not a drug dealer.
I'm not a drug dealer anymore. I've turned good.
Yeah, you don't look like one now.
Yeah, I look just like a Korean wannabe.
Yeah, if you K-pop, not K-pop, K-drama.
A failed K-drama star. Like I'm the guy who's like, you know, I wanted to be a K-pop star. I failed, and now I'm just like a guy that records like, you know, really bad indie movies.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah,
right?
life falls, dude. Rip.
Yeah. Oh, how far we've fallen.
And it's funny, roping it back to One Piece though, like Loki says that this world of the dead belongs to the sun god, you foolish human. And I would say that it belongs to Luffy too, by that extent, right? Because we see Luffy and he befriends all of these animals in the span of like 1 page. It's crazy. Like we don't even see how it happens. He just walks up and boom. Hey, what's up, guys? Like heart emojis are coming out, and it's insane.
I didn't think about it like this until you just phrased it like that. But could it be that the animals like Luffy because of the fruit?
I think so, but by extent, I also think that's why they like Loki. Because hear me out. I'm going to skip around a little bit right here. But everything that Luffy is, Loki kind of is as well, right? They both befriend animals like the sun god. I think it's the only person in the series that gets Luffy's name wrong, right? They call him Loggy or like Loppy or something. Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, like that's like what Luffy does. He does that to other people. But Loki did that by accident. And then we have the bounty thing, and I think there's like one more thing as well. But it's like a lot of things about these guys kind of line up in a weird way. Where like I do think Oda's playing with the fact that Loki is a sun god too, and not like a fake one like Road, but like he might be a legitimate candidate in a way.
Here,
of course, he's setting the standards because he's like, oh, and he's the one telling us all of this. But like you see it, and it kind of lines up. It's weird. Okay, so we learned though that Loki, the only reason that these animals like Loki is because he befriended them as a kid. And I still think that's a pretty cool thing, right? Like as a kid, befriending animals that are like 100 times bigger than you, that's huge, right?
Yeah. It like so I had an issue with it on issues a strong word, but it's not an issue. It was
you hated it.
Of course, it was like because like the friending it as a kid, there's no problem with that. But the way he was using this was like he's trying to flex strength. And so if he didn't have that line there, he's like, oh, I'm the master of these things, right? If he didn't explain that, like, oh, it's because I befriended him when I was a kid, you would just think that, oh, it's because he's super strong and that they like just are subservient to him or whatever. And so it is interesting, but then we have the flip with Luffy where Luffy also befriended them. So I like that part because you said the whole sun god thing, especially. But if the fruit is the reason why Loki is the sun god, then it couldn't have been when he was a kid, right? So that's a separate thing that's really interesting, right? That that whole sun god thing being passed down. If the devil fruit that allows him to that these like animals like respect, then it couldn't have been why when he was a kid they befriended him. That's just a Loki thing, which that in itself is really interesting.
Big,
but I don't know if that's not a strength feat, right? That's just now we know that Loki just has a special.
He's charismatic
too. Yeah, you know, like and not that like Luffy didn't befriend the Ruskaina thing, but like he also dominated them, right? They respected him because he was so strong. But I don't know if I got that nuance from this.
Yeah, but what if that is the nuance being played here? Because Luffy could say the same thing, right? If Luffy talked about the animals of Ruskaina, he'd say, oh yeah, I befriended those guys. But in reality, he did beat them up and then he befriended them. So maybe it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, except that in this chapter, the way Luffy demonstrated it, it was kind of different than any other time. Any other time he like you know, use a little bit of Conqueror's Haki, a little bit of, you know, a little bit of intimidation, and then the animal like chills the fuck out.
Yeah, but this is Gear 5th Yonko Luffy we're talking about. This isn't.
But he didn't pull out
or
Gear
anything.
5.
No, but he has the strength, dude. Dude, these animals know. Animals know when a guy's bad news. And I think these animals saw Luffy and they said, okay, we're not fighting him. Let's just be friends. Like, I'm not going to try, right?
But it's more than friends, right? Like, they have hearts. They have hearts coming off. Like, there's something.
Dude, when I think of you, brother, I think of hearts too. Shit.
That's fair, but like, Luffy's never pulled hearts from these animals. The Kraken needed his ass beaten. You know what I mean? Like, Luffy was out here. the Kraken got whopped, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, the Kraken ended up like liking Luffy, but like it took an ass beat. He lost an arm. Like, let's not forget that Zoro chopped that shit up.
That's Fishman Island, Luffy and Zoro and Sanji. Like, this is post WANO, post Egghead Luffy.
Okay,
it's a little bit different.
Another thing, if Luffy had this effect on animals, period, we didn't need Tama in WANO. I'm sorry. Like, you tell me. Luffy
but she took control of the smile users. It's a little bit different, right?
No, but imagine Luffy has the same effect and he just like replaces Tama. He just like pulls out Joy Boy Riz on the smile.
Here's a good question for you. This is a side question, but you know, it kind of bounces off the smile thing with Luffy. If you were a person in the world of One Piece, pirate, marine, world government, doesn't matter, would you want to be a follower or a leader? And if you were a follower, who would you be okay following? It doesn't have to be like a specific character, but like a trait that you see and you're like, okay, I'll follow him.
Maybe. Oh, this little low key in the Reverie a little bit, but I think after thinking about it, like following, I kind of like Shanks because he'll protect you and you could just be doing your own thing. Like,
would you want to be on his crew or like an allied crew?
Oh, I'd be one of the social club.
The social club people.
Yeah, dude, those guys are kicking it. Imagine being like 80 and being able to sail the new world just because you have the red like.
Yeah,
what?
But that would be like, you'd feel kind of bad though, wouldn't you? Like, you would know that every time you get something or every time you get a pass, it's only because of Shanks. Like, it's not because of you. It's not because you're strong or a little bit strong. It's not even because of your captain. It's because you're Grand Fleet captain.
Yeah.
Like, I feel kind of scummy about that.
Listen, in the One Piece world, man, there are people who chose Doflamingo. All right, I didn't make the bad decision here. I didn't make the bad decision. Fair. You know, I'm not expecting myself to be like I'm not even expecting myself to be Don Krieg level. You're telling me I show up as me in the One Piece world? I'm picking Shanks, bro. I could do anything I want. I could be like I could be going onto an island because I want to look at like bugs and like
just hanging out.
Yeah, and then nobody would stop me. Who would stop me? I got red-haired Shanks, baby. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
fair.
whereas if you follow Luffy, it's like that's almost worse. Like,
Yeah, following Luffy's not great. I keep on telling people this because they're like, oh, the Grand Fleet. It's like, guys. The Grand Fleet has no order whatsoever. Buggy has more structure than Luffy.
yeah, and the Celestial Dragons are after your ass, bro. Like, they literally raided Marriage proudly. And it's like, huh? Like, and then you have other subordinates attacking Shanks. It's like, huh? What are we doing here?
Yeah, guys,
hey guys,
come on,
let's not fuck it up for everybody, please. Like,
yeah, and then Hardin, his brother's Loki, and it's like, oh, your brother's gonna destroy the world. Okay, yeah.
At least we've seen Shanks have fun. He's attending a wedding.
He's hanging out.
Yeah.
If I had to pick somebody, I do like structure. I do like the Marine lifestyle. So cop out answer, I think I would pick the Marines. Obviously, I'd want to follow a Kainu because I like, strong people. But if I had to dial it back and pick somebody else, I think I'd be a Hina follower.
Hina?
See, I can't do that full body.
After One Piece fan mail, I can't do being
because you get PTSD.
You're just like a normal dude. You're just a grocery store worker's son, and then you just are in like a war of gods, and you're just like, what am I
would
doing
try
here?
my best. I would become attached. I mean, I'm not even joking when I say it, but I think I'd be like not like a Blackbeard type character where if I see a devil fruit, brother, I'm murdering for that.
Scalping.
Like literally anything to try and survive. Because if you don't have a devil fruit or hockey, you're cooked, man. Like if I see somebody with a devil fruit pop up, like, oh look, it's a yummy dude. I'd be like, like with a knife, like, okay, I gotta get that dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, brother.
And then One Piece fan mail is one thing, but then Egghead, you're just a random. You're just a dude. You got 100 battleship call. Dude, you can't say no. You're just showing up. Like
I reacted to One Piece fan mail, and I got one comment over and over and over, and it made me happy, but also a little bit upset. But people said, "Oh, I finally sympathize with the Marines," and it's like, guys, like, okay. I'm glad One Piece fan mail did that to you, but you didn't need fan mail to put in perspective how submarines are good. I get it, right? Police in real life, they're not great, but there are still some good ones out there. Same with One Piece. We got some bad Marines, but there's a lot of people who just want to help people, and they're good, and they're just going through life, and they're being absolutely destroyed in the world of One Piece by devil fruit users and gods. And it's like, guys, like Marineford, when you bring a Marineford, people are like, oh, the Marines are awful because they killed Ace. But it's like, well, Ace, nobody forced him to become a pirate. And then even then, it's like, dude, if you're a Marine there, you're trying your best to just survive and not die with your brother.
And
like, it's crazy.
To run the
Kainu would kill. Which, to be fair, people give a Kainu flack, but in a lot of countries, even back in medieval ages and even current day, deserters are not treated well. So it's like, like a Kainu kind of strong-armed it, but let me tell you, it happens, man. Like you can't, like the way I see the Marine, and I kind of justify it, is like the Marine, he tried to leave because he had a family. But everybody on that battlefield, pirate and Marine, had a family. They were all fighting to live another day, and this guy left. Like it kind of like spits in the face of everybody who's trying their best. And I don't know, it's a nuanced point, but it's like, guys, like the Marines always had it rough. Like I even think back to Egghead Island, where the Marines were on the island when they started the Buster Call. Like, dude, people were ready to arrest Luffy, which I doubt they would have because they would have got bodied. But they had the chains. They were ready to tie Luffy up, and then the Buster Call hit them, and it's friendly fire. It's like, dude, being a Marine is awful.
Yeah,
but they're trying.
And then your God, Lord, Savior starts sucking you from the...
and then they blow up your head if you look at their way. It's like, bro, their life is hell, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, we memed on... See, the thing is, we memed on the Buster Call. I didn't meme on the... Like, some of the decisions were stupid, but, like, the scenario was stupid. Like, the Buster Call was dumb. Like, it wasn't like Billy... I don't know why I keep saying Billy Bob, but, like, Billy Bob...
on bringing it back Billy. And Billy's the name of my brother-in-law, so I'm like, wait, what?
No, my bad. I'll try John.
No, Billy's fine. It reminds me of home.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, Billy, like he didn't choose. Like this, he didn't choose to fight that battle. Someone chose to fight
Yeah,
that battle, and they were wrong. And you know what else was wrong? The method of how they fought that battle. Buster Cole was not the method, and
it's
it's
not.
unfortunate, but they had to follow the duty, and
It's
that
so
sucked.
stupid
And we,
because like if they were trying to kill civilians, I forgot somebody brought it up at the Reverie. They said, "Oh, like being a civilian on Egghead is awful," and it's like. I wanted to interject, but my mic was too low and everything. But I was like, guys, like there were no civilians on Egghead. Like they left. Like literally, it was
yeah,
only the Straw Hats. Guys,
yeah.
yeah, it's
It
funny.
was also the civilians. They're not like real. I'm sorry. I don't
Half of
mean to
them are
like.
real. Half of them are holograms and robots. Guys, come on.
Yeah, no, none of them are real. I don't think because Vegapunk came to like that island wasn't occupied. Like anybody who was there was like a Vegapunk person, and like I'm not saying that they're not civilians, but that would mean that they're world government. You know what I mean? Like they're also agents. Like they're
Yeah,
that's not like that. I don't know who was populating that thing, but I don't see them as completely like I wouldn't compare them to O'Hara is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
That
not
island's
O'Hara.
way different. Yeah, O'Hara was 100% like they fuck shit up there, but like on
Yeah, they put in
Egghead,
work, dude.
yeah, on Egghead, it was like, all right, hold on, no, this guy's definitely not a human. Like this
We
guy,
had
I don't know.
automaton there, man.
Yeah. I like robot lives matter for sure, but like,
I wouldn't weigh
you
them
know,
as much as human lives.
yeah, like AI isn't a threat in the One Piece world, so they got time to not care. We robots, hear me
Yeah,
out.
if I had a power
Yeah.
scale like life, I'd put humans a little bit above robot. If I had to put all the races on a tier list, I have humans above most other ones. Let me be
The way you
honest.
said, if I had a power scale live, like that was good. That was great.
So,
Fucking-
alongside these dumb animals, we all, which I gotta say, there's the wolf. The black wolf is so cool, man.
yeah.
The,
Well, I don't
the
know.
scar in the eye is that Shanks?
Yeah, I love when Oda does that, where it's like the animals like obviously represent somebody. This one is like that one's sick. Like this one's the
Yeah.
leader of the wolves, right?
Dude,
Like
it's like when we had the stupid sea beast on Egghead that looked like Kid, like the hair and the goggles, and it's like, which never explained, by the way. It was just there.
yeah,
Like
Oda
maybe that
was
was a
just
teaser
like
that we get some kid stuff, but I don't even know.
it was a teaser that he'd end up in the ocean.
My
Like
God,
is a teaser that this is what happens to Conquer Devil Fruit users who fall into the ocean. They become Sea Kings.
you know, somebody said they were like, "Hey," which did we skip over? We skipped over it, I think.
What?
Loki said that he would kill any pirate crew if we let him go.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
we can go back to that real quick, but yeah, I was like, people were like, oh, like would Kid release Loki to kill Shanks? And I was like, I don't think so. Like that sounds good on paper, but Kid is so prideful that I don't know if he would. But somebody said, oh, Kid could simply make a key out of metal thanks to his magnet fruit. And I said, yes, but Kid, people have been comparing him to Magneto and all these other, magnetic metal characters in other series. And it's like, guys, Kid has never really shown that ceiling of ability. Like, I'm sure it's there, but Kid has not utilized his devil fruit in the best of ways, man. Like, I like it, but he hasn't done it, bro. I wish.
But I will be fair. Like to say that a key is out of his realm is pretty depressing. Like
That is depressing, but like that's just the reality of it, right? Like, dude, Kid should be a monster. I love Kid. I've always loved his devil fruit ever since the day we met him on Sabaody. But like, if Oda wanted to, he could go so hard on the magnet fruit, bro.
yeah, it's funny that this is kind of just my son. He like one of one of the most not troublesome, problematic things in development is when they learn how to open doors.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, and so he figured out how a key works. And so he stuck it like we have a grandfather clock and he put the key into the slot and opened it. And I'm like,
why? Why'd you do that?
how did you know?
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy. And so like you saying like kid can't make a key with magnet powers. I just thought of my kid and I was just like, oh shit, kid's gone. My son's giving a kid run for his money right now.
Yeah,
Like,
your son is Kid diffing him.
yeah, this is crazy. He just did that this yesterday or today.
I
Yeah,
think,
it's fine.
to be fair, like when I was a kid, my family had a grandfather clock, and I really wanted to open it with the key. I don't know what it was, but there's something that like
Yeah.
it's like a siren song for kids.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was running to both sides, looking at it like swaying. So then he was just like, "Wait a second. If I stand in the front, I could see it sway without running side to side." And then I guess
I
he just
won't
like
get a
looked at
headache.
it, and then the key was like on the side, and and I was like, "No, what are we doing?" And he almost like,
Son.
it wasn't like a problem. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
it's like, damn, like, oh, no, he can open up locks. This is a whole new problem now.
It's funny that Loki says that he would kill any pirate crew for Luffy, because this is like the one thing that really wouldn't entice him at all. Like if you were to say this to anyone else in the series, they would kind of consider it, man.
Law
Yeah.
would be like, get Doflamingo's ass, bro.
Dude, Law would be like, hey, like even though Doflamingo's in Impel Down, he'd be like, let me tell you, like there's a guy in Impel Down real quick, you gotta kill him. Which, to be fair, you put Loki and Dofi in a ring. Of course, we don't know Loki's powers, but I'd say Loki walks out of it, man.
This is a great see. Like I am pessimistic about Loki's power level, but I
Yeah.
want to be optimistic. And let me tell you, I wish someone like put his ass on Kaido. Tell Loki,
Loki versus Kaido?
yeah,
Dude.
Loki? Like, I could take any. All right. I got a few for you. There's
Dude,
4 of them. Let's try it.
that'd be
Loki.
nuts.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, he said Shanks is a like we didn't
Big Mom.
Shanks. Yeah, I'm like, all right, so Shanks is a coward. All right, go kill Kaido. Go kill Big Mom. Let me tell you about ZKK real quick. Like, like
Yeah.
Loki being that confident, it was odd in the sense of like, in order to be that confident, there's experience, right? Or is he just talking out of his ass? Is it just like, is this like a Loki trickery? It could be, but I think a lot of the community wants to believe that this is 100% like strength, like he's backing it up with strength.
Dorian Brogy's crew kind of said it though, like, like it took all the giants to take him down. So I want to believe it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not saying it's not based, but I'm saying that like there's a possibility that there's other things to it. Like when you think of like Marvel Loki too, he'd say some shit like this.
Yeah.
100%. Like this is like, I'm not saying like Marvel Loki is the depiction of Loki, but like
it's a popular reference of Loki. Like to say that Marvel Loki, just because it's Marvel and not Norse mythology, that it's instantly dismissed, I think it's pretty disingenuous, considering the fact that Marvel is really big in Japan. Like Loki is really big in Japan too. So it's like, yeah, like
the chapter. Oda did
Loki Oda definitely knows what he's doing with the horns, with the chapter reveal. Like, yeah.
And Oda might, like, I mean, even with like King Harold, right? Like he's not pulling from Norse sort of mythology, but like he's pulling from like
references.
Historical stuff now, right? So, and he's blending them. It's an amalgamation, and so it's
like Unit 731.
There's going to be like popular modern references to various things. So if Loki's popping off in Marvel, I don't see why Oda wouldn't reference that. Even if it's like, if he likes it, then it's going to be involved, right? That's kind of Vicky the Viking. That's not like Norse mythology. That's a kids show, right? And he's going to has already said that that's an inspiration for this entire series. So when we're like, I don't know, when it comes to like the Loki stuff, I could 100% see the Marvel Loki saying like, yeah, I'll take Thanos. I'll do it for you. Just free me.
You want to kill Captain America? I can do that real quick. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, just free me. Just get me out of these chains. I could see that. And so like, that's where I'm like, that's just like another instance where I'm like, it may not be just pure strength. It's just because these could just be empty bluffs. It could just be words that he's saying to convince him. I'm not saying that all of them are empty completely. They may not be, right? Like the animal's not attacking him or whatever. That there's probably truth to that, right? But is it because he's the sun god? Probably not. I don't know. We don't know about the devil fruit stuff, but we know that Luffy is the sun god, right? And this is like what I was saying before about like him having the fruit, the whatever, that could be a bluff. And then this one being able to take down any pirate crew, right? Unless he has experience, it's a bluff. It doesn't matter. Like even if he could, he where's the proof? You know what I mean? Like, and from what we know, there's in the last 6 years, what kind of like the Yonkos have been there. So he couldn't have taken down a Yonko. That doesn't make sense, right? Unless like it was Shiki or something. But like even then, that'd be kind of weird for the storyline. You know what I mean? Like as far as notoriety goes, unless there's like someone in Impel Down level 6, I guess, or like he killed them. But like if he's like, oh, I can kill anybody, right? And he doesn't know, maybe he doesn't know about the Yonko. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's the reason he's oblivious to them. So he's just talking out of his ass. And in that state, it's still kind of a bluff, right? It might not be the same bluff as like him lying out of like he might actually believe he can, but he doesn't know how strong the world is, right?
Yeah.
So it could be something like that too. But like you said, the Giants all said that it took all of them to stop him. And then that's where I'm curious because like, is he saying that he can take any crew because of his devil fruit? Because it could be that too. It could be that his fruit has some kind of hacks, and that's pretty plausible too. There's plenty of hacked devil fruit concepts Oda could just introduce that would be just like, all right, that's just not fair. Like, yeah, we're gonna need the whole island for this one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could easily see something like that, and that would give them the confidence. It kind of reminds me of like Vanderdecken, where Vanderdecken was hella confident because he just had a fruit that had aimbot. You give someone aimbot, you make a 13-year-old feel like a god. You know what I mean? And that could be what Loki has. And if a devil fruit that was passed down family line, it's probably a Hax fruit. You know what I mean? It's probably something like that. I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, it could even be a gimmick too. Like maybe like you can't beat him one-on-one or like something stupid, right?
Like a domain expansion type of like, rules.
Which is why like people are saying, "Oh, like there's no way Ussop can beat Loki." And yeah, I kind of agree. If it's power level versus power level, yeah, sure, Usopp's not going to win. But if Loki has a devil fruit that relies on a gimmick, then I think Ussop could still win. Which I know, like, I kind of brought Ussop out of nowhere, but, you know, people have been talking about, oh, like, Usopp's going to get his moment to shine. Will he beat a big giant? Will he beat the strongest giant to prove that he is that guy? And I could see that happening. And, you know, Ussop doesn't excel at a lot of things. I think he's an absolute loser. But Ussop excels in negativity and lying and storytelling. Mm-hmm. If Loki's gimmick relies on one of those things, then Ussop could take the cake.
Yeah. And aside from Ussop, right, and which is ironic because good thing you weren't at the end of the Reverie. We spent like an hour and a half on Ussop, going back and forth. But that not that bringing that up. But Davy backfight. What if he has like the Davy no me? Like he just like
the
forces
Davy no me.
Yeah, just something like that where it's like that would be why they needed all of Elbaf to take him down because they all need to play the Davy backfight against Loki. You know what I mean? And that could be why Loki's hella confident. He could just beat everybody because he forces them into a Davy backfight to the Davy no me. And, you know, and like I'm saying that as a joke, but like realistically, that's a very plausible thing. If the Davy backfights are an intrinsically pirate game spawned from Hachinosu and Devil Fruits are like your ability to just like dream of something, there's probably somebody who's like, oh man, I wish I could play Davy backfights, and they made this cursed devil fruit, and that'd be why, like, you know, it's passed down and thing and whatever. Like it could be something like that where that would be the gimmick, you know?
Yeah, the one downside is that wouldn't entail the title of the sun god with it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like that, like a game type thing. And people have been talking about like, oh, you know, there were 3 trials that Thor went through that Loki, you know, put in his path. So like maybe it could do with something with that. Mm-hmm. I have seen people saying that he could be like a fire giant like Surtur, which I didn't like at first, but it's kind of growing on me just because I've been hearing it so many times. But you know, like that could be a thing. It plays a role in Ragnarok, and yeah, I feel like Loki might be that guy. Okay. Scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you that Loki is strong? I'm like a 7 or 8.
Okay, define strong. Like him himself.
Yeah, okay.
Like, is he like like like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean by strong?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, that's a hard one. It's too abstract. This is gonna sound so stupid. I'm not a Zoro glazer. Is he as strong as Zoro? Yes or no? I would say yes, and I'd be like 95% there. At bare minimum, like he could be stronger than Zoro, but like I'm just saying, base level, I think he is as strong as Zoro.
Yeah, I think like as much as I devalue his not devalue, like I'm my expectations of his strength have dropped. The fact that he could like dodge a point blank Kong gun is that not many people could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he's chained up and everything. So I think at minimum, and we saw Oimo and Kashi wrestle with the Saint Venus. So
Yeah.
like I think saying that he's Zoro, like if him and Zoro clashed, it would be like, damn, this guy's strong. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I think, yeah, I could see that.
How
I could see
about
equal.
this? Him and Luffy. Who do you think right now is stronger?
Oh, Luffy. I mean,
I think Luffy
are we talking
too.
about like Gear 5? Like Gear 5 is
Gear
stupid,
5.
but yeah, not stupid. Sorry, not stupid like that, but like
It's
if I
super
were
powerful.
fighting Gear 5, I would say that's stupid. It's stupid that I'm fighting against this, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel the same way.
yeah.
Like he's somewhere there between like Zoro and Luffy, but
Yeah.
I do think Luffy would take the cake.
Yeah.
There's so many things. So one thing we do see is his subordinates, or the humans that were exiled from Elbaf, and they look absolutely goofy.
Yeah.
Bro, like apparently they're wearing what, animal skin or animal suits?
They're wearing the corpses of animals that like are putrid or whatever.
Yeah, but it's just
So
black robes.
Yeah, and then they're wearing like the plague masks. It looks like I don't know what's going on there.
It doesn't even. It looks like plague doctor mask, but it could just be like a gas mask. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All I know is that these guys got bamboozled. They followed the wrong giant. Like,
dude,
this shit sucks.
They all have katanas too. Like not even swords or axes or any diversity. They all have katanas. Do you see that?
It doesn't even look like.
Thor.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not even like katanas. It's just the blade. I don't know what that's called, but like I don't even see. There's no hilt in sight. I'm sorry. I don't even know. It looks like the end of a scythe.
Maybe
it's like backwards.
Maybe it's like silhouetted, and we'll see the hilt later. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird.
When I saw that, I was like, "What are they? The blades? Is this my theory? Like, what's happening?" Like,
your theory is coming true, but you don't even know what's happening anymore.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess Oda went with it, but like not the way I thought it would be.
Yeah, what the hell? Do I take credit for this? I don't know. Do I want this?
Yeah. They were just. I feel like they're random. I feel like they're just hella
They
random.
came
like,
in, said, "Hey, let's fight this guy." Never mind, let's not fight him.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like they weren't really necessary. Like if you had deleted them, I think the chapter had the same effect. You
3
just have
panels.
Loki. Yeah, like I think that like Loki not having eyeballs kind of is like why you need like other people reacting, but like we don't know about the eyeball situation, and it feels like Loki is pretty receptive to what's happening. So I don't know if they were needed to like further emphasize Luffy's like absurdity, right? Like,
all right, how about this?
Yeah,
Franky Family or Loki subordinates? Who do you have?
Franky Family. 100%.
Loki subordinates for me.
Wait, oh, like in a fight?
In a fight or just design wise, either one.
Oh, no, design wise,
I like the designs of these guys. It's so stupid.
I like the Franky Family. Theirs are dumber though, but like at least they're functional. I'm not trying to be in a corpse of an animal that smells shitty. Like
then you have to wear a gas mask.
Yeah, like listen, like the chafing
so
from
dumb.
like metal underwear that Franky forces on this family is kind of ridiculous, but that's way better than like what was that movie with Leo? Was it Leo in like he fought a bear and he just like had to hide in like a corpse of like a cat,
like 10,000 BC or something?
I don't remember. It was like a recent movie. But like they had to hide, like it was like winter and they hid inside the corpse of a horse. And I was like, I'm sure people had to do that, but like that's
crazy.
Different. Yeah.
Would you hide in the corpse of a horse to survive winter?
Would I do that? Yeah. probably.
Yeah. You wouldn't be proud of it?
But like, I feel like, okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but like, I feel like I'd only do that because I have a family. Like,
No,
if
I was about to say like, would you do it because you have a son and a wife? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like if I was solo, like my, I don't know, like this is gonna sound
You take
so
more
stupid.
risk.
Not really, but like this is gonna sound so stupid, but like, I don't know. If I was solo, I don't know. I'd be like, man, do I care about the One Piece to like keep it's the whole, like it's the whole,
Is the reveal of the One Piece worth living in a horse carcass for a little bit?
Oh, fuck it, I'll figure it out. And I'll just wait. I'll wait for this chapter. I'll wait for the spoilers.
Yeah. You like rub your chin looking at the horse carcass. You're like, I don't know, man.
Dude, like, I know this is like a morbid thing, but like that these thoughts exist where it's just like, man, I don't want to miss out on the One Piece though. Like, I've definitely seen the memes on the internet, but there's also the real stuff too. I mean, okay, like like there was the Make-A-Wish kid who actually was like, "Can I know about the One Piece?" Right? So it's not like that crazy. Yeah, and I would have told him, right? So like, I would like if I'm gonna piece with the horse, I'd be like, "Fuck, I don't think the One Piece."
I have an idea.
What?
So you have cancer.
Oh my god.
You should get on the Make-A-Wish program.
Yeah.
And you should ask Oda what the One Piece is, and then, you know,
post it.
Post it, bro. Post it. Tell me, dude. There we go. That'd be so huge.
Ultimate spoiler.
Or if you don't want to do it, maybe we can cook up a kid that has cancer.
Cook up cancer. That's fucking crazy.
Like load them with like microplastics and everything.
Oh my god. Yeah. Like was it I think it was like it was something like, no, the US did this or whatever. It was like
they've done that before?
Well, no, like they dropped nukes before we knew about like nuclear testing.
Oh,
properly.
yeah.
And then like all of our cows got like radioactive, and then the milk had like radioactive
didn't it like poison a whole town?
Well, like no, like technically all of us got it. We just don't know the ramifications of it.
Yeah,
because there's no like testing or oversight. So it's just kind of like,
it's like one of those things that you know, since everybody has it, you don't want to test it anymore. Like, yeah, let's just find out.
Yeah, no, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly the logic. They're like, well, there's no reason to like figure this out because
we all got it, dude.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with it, and yeah.
So would you, morally, would you be okay with cooking up a kid with cancer just to find out the One Piece?
No.
No.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are we...
All right. Hey, maybe I hit too close to home, but fair enough. What about like, a Quartzark comes down.
Oh my god! Just to make the hypothetical.
And he makes a homunculus, just an artificial human that has cancer, just to get Oda to spill the One Piece to him. Would you be okay with that?
What would I be okay with that? If I was upset, what could I do?
You could tell Quartzark no, and then Quartzark wouldn't do it.
Oh, yeah, I would say no, don't do it.
But here's the thing: the homunculus, after Oda tells him the One Piece, he disappears after telling us. So they would never like truly suffer the wrath of cancer.
Oh, so they tell us and then it just disappear.
Yeah. But up until the point that Oda tells them, they are ravaged with like crazy chemotherapy. They have like a homunculus family that cries every day about their cancer. And then you have to live with them while this kid's going through it. But none of it is real because it's a homunculus.
Sucks. Quartzark sucks donkey doo-doo, bro. These are the worst godly hypotheticals I've ever heard of. And all I can say is I blame Quartzark for not being better.
But what'd you do with though? Would you have a fake family that has cancer just to learn the One Piece?
But would you do it though?
Yeah, exactly. Would you do it?
and I hit you with the, but this is stupid, and you're like, but, but what do you?
Yeah, would you do it, man?
No, that would be so annoying.
Like heart wrenching.
Oda, like, when would Oda get the time to do this? The person might die before Oda gets the time.
No, the homunculus lives at 1 HP consistently. So like how you had the flashing red for food, the kid has flashing red but for life. Which, to be fair, hey guys, I know cancer's awful, but Par has cancer, we got a free pass.
Oh my God.
You know, just like we say Asian jokes, we can say cancer jokes. Par has it. You know, he might die any day now. But yeah, like would you be okay with that? Like having a kid at 1 HP just to learn the One Piece?
No, not 1 HP is wild. Why? Dude, you said 1 HP, I fucking died. Oh my God.
And he tells me about it. Like it's like League of Legends. You have a constant ping going off.
Yeah. You see
it's flashing red.
That's fucking
all right.
crazy,
So
dude.
so what is the most you'd give up to learn about the One Piece?
The most I would give up? Man,
not a lot.
Yeah, because like
it's gonna come out eventually, right?
Yeah,
fair.
I mean, like Oda better stay healthy. The thing is, like, everyone's banking on his health being good. My guy's not in good health. Like,
no, Oda does not take care of himself, dude. What the hell? Oda doesn't walk. He has gout. You know, he's got a lot of like I think, is he immunodeficient or something?
Yeah,
immune deficiency. Yeah, like diabetes too.
Yeah.
Like he's like, wrecked.
He's literally the person
issues.
who would die in COVID. Like that's
which
like,
is crazy.
As much as people don't believe it, whatever COVID, whatever.
Yeah.
No, but COVID would kill him.
It's crazy because like the average Japanese person is super healthy, but Oda's like below that bar. And I was in Japan, dude. Everybody's healthy. So
he's a chain smoker, chain drinker. Like, it's just insane. And I know people
alcoholic,
who personally
smokes.
Seen. It's one thing to know about like in interviews or whatever. No, I know people who've told me this, and I'm like, that's crazy. That it's like worse in real life.
And apparently, he has like he's missing a lot of teeth.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Apparently, because you know. In Japanese culture, like a lot of people don't. I say a lot, but there's a handful of people that don't like take care of their dental hygiene, and Oda's one of them. So it's like, damn, like yeah, it's rough.
Damn.
So yeah, like Oda's kind of like he's going through the ringer, dude. I think he'll survive till the end of One Piece, but as far as how much I'd give up, I don't think I'd give up anything. I kind of like the mystery. Will I do spoilers that day? Yeah, but you know, it's when we get there, we get there.
Yeah, I think when we get there, that's kind of where I'm at, you know, like I'm
not a rush.
Is the ride. Now I know the toothless diabetic dying old-ish man who doesn't see his family, can't walk, like at least he's having fun.
Yeah, he's having fun. He's a multi-millionaire, you know.
Yeah, you know what?
That's
just realized.
What's up?
Oda sounds like Quartzark made him.
Oda's a Quartzark experiment.
He literally, nothing about Oda makes sense. It literally just sounds like your hypothetical. What if there's a millionaire man who's the best? He has no teeth. Would you smash? And I'm like, all right, Oda, stop. Like,
yeah. Which here, let me see. I do want to shout out the people who made Quartzark fan art. Which I know if you're watching this for One Piece, it sounds so silly. But CYNA Sina, thank you for the Quartzark fan art. And also, let me see. Somebody made 50/50 artwork as well. Casti D. Florenz. Thank you as well. We really appreciate it. You know, we don't get a lot of fan art being One Piece YouTubers or anything like that. So actually getting that, it's awesome. We appreciate it. And just know that we both saw it.
Yeah. I may not be on the internet, but I definitely showed it to me, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I sent it to Par.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So,
sick. The
people that Loki has under his command, which Loki doesn't call them his crew, but they call him Loki-sama. So, you know, they're subservient to an extent. But they say, hey, Loki, we apologize for fainting, man. We didn't expect red hair to show up earlier. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so we know that Red Haired was here when he was on Elbaf. And I think that puts a lot of things into context as well. Because when he was at Wano, right, he said, oh, like, I came here for Blackbeard. He's not here. Let's go after the One Piece. By the way, we have to deal with Barto. So it never made sense that he came to Elbaf. And I think we talked about that beforehand. Like, oh, like, the Elbaf trip is really weird. Like, did he come here after Barto, before Barto? Like, what is going on? And if he came here for Loki, that makes a lot of sense now. Like, this was another thing on his journey. And you might be like, people might be wondering, why would he come here? And I think it's directly tied to Luffy's awakening. Because one really odd scene back in Wano was that Shanks saw Luffy's bounty poster in the paper. He smiled. And then right after he saw that, he told Ben Beckman that we're going after the One Piece. And yes, that could be the direct correlation there. But I wonder if he saw that Luffy is the real sun god. And then he said, okay, let's pay the fake sun god a visit. Like, now that we saw this, let's go see Loki. Like, we got to tell him that he ate the wrong fruit and that the real sun god's going to show up pretty soon. And I feel like it's an anime stereotype where, like, it's a lot. It's, if you've watched a lot of animes, you'll know this arc. Like, you can correlate this to any anime, but you'll see, like, the mentor figure come back and say, like, in a flashback, like, oh, you know, one day the real one's going to show up and you'll know who it is. Like, that's kind of how I feel this conversation went down. Like, he probably went to Loki and said, hey, pretty soon you're going to realize that you're not that guy.
Yeah. It's interesting with you know, like, crew to notoriety, like Loki's position here with, like, yeah, it's just because he could be saying the coward of a pirate to just rile Luffy up, but like something like, again, and you know what, him saying it like that would be in line with everything else I was saying, like a bluff kind of line, you know what I mean? Like, he's saying that, but it might not be the whole truth, right? Like, and if everything so far has been some form of a bluff or lie or trickery, to gain some kind of response out of Luffy, then this one would make sense, at least as the most one to do that, right? Because I don't see, like, unless he's absurdly strong, and I'm not getting, like, over Shanks absurdly strong. That doesn't feel right. Like, given, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't, you'd have to, honestly, you'd have to pay me money to think that Oda is just gonna introduce a character that's just stronger than Shanks like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, with Kaido, there could be a debate whether Kaido is stronger than Shanks, and, like, I'm not saying that I believe that Kaido is weaker or stronger, but I'm saying with, like, Kaido, at least, like, we saw proof in the pudding that this guy is insanity. And so, like, we haven't seen that out of Shanks, but we know that Shanks is strong. We know, like, narratively he would be strong. We know that, like, Oda loves this guy, so he's gonna be strong. We know he's chapter 1 character, he's gonna be strong. There's just so much going on there. And then, like, for Loki to, like, be able to little bro Shanks off rip, that feels fictional to me. That doesn't feel like the One Piece that makes sense to me. So the coward of a pirate's either a bluff, or, in my first reactionary thought, is that he's saying that in a misunderstood way, in that it could be like someone challenged Shanks, and Shanks, like, Shanks is the type of person who only takes fights that are necessary, right? He's always, like, trying to avoid a fight unless it's necessary. And he stopped Marineford. He's like, yo, if you want to keep fighting, you can, but I'm here now. So do you want to fight me? And everyone's like, no, let's not fight. With the Whitebeard in the Blackbeard situation, we don't know the nuance about why he doesn't just handle Blackbeard if he's capable of it, whether he, like, the reality is like, was Blackbeard always as strong as he is right now? Could Shanks not have taken him pre Gura Gura? I think he should have been. To say that Blackbeard pre Gura Gura would be able to stop a Shanks is just insanity. That is insanity to me. And it's also crazy for me to think that just because he has a Devil Fruit now he can match Shanks. That doesn't make sense either. So there's a lot of weird stuff in that relationship there. But it sounds like to me that, like, Shanks didn't think that Loki was a necessary fight for him, so he just refused to fight him, and because of that, Loki says he's a coward pirate. Now, like, is Loki misunderstanding the strength? Does he think that Shanks is too weak because whatever? And maybe like Loki's like the racism is also there. He thinks that humans are lowly. So like he's also saying it like, oh, this lowly human won't fight me. He must be weak or something like that. And maybe his perspective of I could take on any pirates comes from the fact that if, or not the fact, but his understanding is like, well, if Shanks is afraid to fight me and he's a Yonko, then I could fight anybody. It could be something like that too. It could be that you could chain these two sentences together and then you can get an understanding from there. So it is odd, like the whole scenario, like with Shanks, with Loki, why he was here, and then you add in the timeline when Shanks became a Yonko, that's when he got imprisoned. So like, is Shanks involved with that? And if he was, then like, where's the 2.6 billion? Like Shanks didn't cash it in. Like, why not? You know what I mean? And did the Giants ask Shanks like, hey, can you just like leave Loki here? Could be that. Yeah, and it is interesting though, because if Shanks was the reason that Loki got imprisoned, then this line also wouldn't make sense. Then it would be a complete bluff, you know what I mean? Because he should know how strong Shanks is. So that also wouldn't make sense. And then I feel like him being that disrespectful to like humans would be kind of wild, knowing that Shanks like exists, right? Like it's kind of like how Akainu is just afraid of Wano because he knows Odin existed. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh shit.
We don't know. It could have been Ryuma that Akainu was afraid of.
Oh yeah.
He was afraid of Ryuma.
Akainu, famously of the era of Ryuma. Like,
hey, thank you. I'm glad you finally put into perspective.
No. You know what? I'm gonna spin it. Akainu is afraid of Ryuma's zombie. Like, he's like, oh shit, even dead Wano soldiers are crazy, so I gotta stay away. Like, he saw Moria's Ryuma's zombie, and he's like, oh shit,
it's too much for me.
Yeah, but. You know, while you were talking the first time, I was like laughing at the idea that what if these, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but like, what if these minions are just like the ex-Kid Pirates? They're just...
Yeah, Kid Killer, Bunk Pomp, like all these losers.
Yeah, just the random people. And like, they may not even recognize Luffy to that extent. They should recognize Luffy, but like, maybe they can't see through the goggles. Like, they're just like so messed up from Shanks that they just can't see anymore. And it's just like, when you were saying that, I was like, yo, how funny would it be if these were like...
That would be just super sad, to be honest. I'd cry if these were the ex-Kid Pirates. No way.
Yeah, it would be wild. But yeah, I mean, like I mean, now that we're here with the Shanks thing, and then we see the punch right now, it's just like Loki's. I'm very unclear about where I feel like you. I remember earlier you said like 7 out of 10 confidence that he's strong, but like there's just like a bunch of weird stuff. And by strong, I don't want to put Devil Fruit into the mix either. You know what I mean? Like, Pax Devil Fruit doesn't count for me. Like, that's like saying sugar is really strong, right? Like, no, sugar's fruit's just obnoxious. It's just not like really fair. So like, if the reality is that immortality and that kind of stuff kind of fits in Norse mythology a little bit, and Sugars gave that, and Oda could create another Hax fruit like that. Why not? That was a really obnoxious one too, because that would honestly fit with like Roto, right? Like, she had the toy fruit, and like that would be Roto's like wet dream.
And it's the hobby no mi, and Roto has a crazy hobby.
Exactly. So right. and that's the other thing, that Roto looked up to Loki. So maybe some of that stuff also reflects on Loki, right? If everything else, the sun god and what was the other thing? The sun god and the human racism.
The human hate.
So then we could maybe say that, hey, Roto has this weird hobby. Maybe Loki has that same weird hobby. Or
oh my god, yeah, they get together like on Sunday nights for D&D.
Wait a second. He does have that weird hobby. These humans.
Well, we don't know for sure. Like, these guys kind of like Loki, I think. I don't really know.
But they're kind of, in a little bit of a way, they're all in hell. Roto just puts them in a room. He cheats his.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Loki can't keep them here.
Yeah, that's fair. Like
Loki... these guys could technically escape. Like, they just need to build a boat and get out of here.
That's fair. That's fair. But oh no, but he could be entrapping them because his animals are his friends.
Yeah, but they can't. The animals don't know that they're here because they're wearing the animal stink.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
they can escape whenever they want. And they'll have katanas too. I think Loki treats them well. For me, when I see Loki talk mess about Shanks, I feel like he's totally bluffing. He's just having fun with Luffy. He's trying to see what riles him up, tries to see how Luffy really functions and what he cares about. Right? Because beforehand, he's like, hey, I'll kill any pirate crew. Luffy doesn't care. Hey, my animals are going to kill you. Luffy dealt with them and his subordinates. So I think him calling Shanks a coward is simply just Loki trying to find what motivates him. And he hit the nail on the head, right? Like Luffy went gear fourth, he immediately tried to kill Loki. Loki dodged, of course. And he's like, hey, if you want to learn more about Shanks, I can't just tell you right now. Like, you gotta free me, is kind of what he's insinuating.
Yeah.
So that now brings on the big question of, do you think Luffy will free Loki to learn more about Shanks?
Nah, I don't think that.
You don't think so?
Like, I don't know if that motivate. Like the motivation. I think
Yeah.
Loki's intended effect was, okay, first I'm going to offer him something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You are a pirate, surely you have enemies. I will take care of them for you. And that didn't do anything for him. So then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to threaten you. And so the animals here, they'll kill you. And I'm their friend, so if you save me, I will be your friend too. And Luffy's like, well, I'm friends with them now too. So then he's tried to kind of, I like, flex is a little bit of a like a very complex form of like it's not exactly what I'm trying to say, but it fits the umbrella the most, is that like by him belittling Shanks, he wanted to test, like, okay, well, what would be his reaction? Well, it's like, oh wait, what? Coward Shanks, if he was weak, if like Luffy couldn't handle himself, he would be like, wait, this guy said that Shanks is a coward. That means this guy's really strong, right? So it's kind of like a flex, but like it's like a fishing attempt, right?
Yeah.
And he's trying to fish the thing, and the response that Luffy had probably wasn't what he expected. And so now he's like, okay, wait, this guy likes Shanks enough to fight me, so let me try to offer him something again, and that the information. But the thing is, like, Luffy doesn't really care about that, because like if he wanted to know about Shanks, he could ask Rayleigh, right? Like he didn't ask Shanks, and he didn't even. He's like, oh wow, you knew Shanks, and he's like, yeah, he was on the crew. It's like, dang, like, but other than that, it wasn't like that. He could have. Rayleigh has all the information. I'm sure Rayleigh could have been like, yeah, your guy, he's on Elbaf. Like he didn't even ask that. Where is Shanks? Nothing, absolutely nothing. So I don't see him caring here. I think the big line to me that, like, again, this, as far as taking the chapter as a full package, it's that when after like Luffy throws that punch, he dodges it, and which is pretty impressive in my opinion. I know other people probably don't think that that's a big deal. To me, I think point blank gear 4 Kong gun dodge is kind of like, and he's chained up. That's kind of crazy. He dodged it, and it kind of felt like he did a minimal move. You know what I mean? He didn't like overreact. It felt like a very skilled thing. So I'll give him that. But then he goes like it's like, I can't even move right now. And in his mind, he goes, this guy, if he gets these shackles off me, I'll kill him, right? I'll give him a quick death. And that one was interesting to me because, like, it doesn't necessarily mean he's weak, but it's like he feels like, okay, like this guy is a threat, you know what I mean? Like, and he recognizes it, which is important. But also, like, Luffy didn't do anything, like, he didn't, obviously Luffy, as far as his ceiling goes, he didn't do anything close to his ceiling. And that was enough for Loki to be like, all right, hold on, this guy friended my animals. He's a Shanks friend, all this stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill him. But like, that also felt weird because if he was like so absurdly strong, usually when you're like so absurdly strong, you don't resort to, like, killing is like, you don't do, like, Kaido didn't do that. Kaido literally was like so strong and so oppressive that he could just beat everybody, and he could beat them multiple times over. And when it came to killing them, yeah, he wanted to do on Onigashima, but prior to that, it was about breaking their wills and all that stuff. Whereas like it felt like when Loki did it here, it was more like, oh, this guy can like threaten me, and I don't like that, and I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And that off of a Kong 4 gun punch felt kind of like an excessive reaction here. But again, it's not like damning. I'm only saying that because in the package of all the other comments, it kind of like whittles me down a little bit as far as like Loki and my perspective on his power. And then the other thing is that he saw Luffy do that and he still was confident that he can kill him. And I'm like, so what's giving him the confidence? And I feel like, again, the devil fruit, like, is it hacks? Like, it just can. Does he really think that one instance, that one punch is enough to measure this guy up who just friended all the animals in a second and is just like surviving on WANO or Elbaf randomly? And he's just like, yeah, I can kill him. Right? Is that like, is he naive or is he racist or is he like what is it? Or is it just the devil fruit carries that fucking hard? And what is that devil fruit, Is it like Majin Buu? Can he turn him to candy and then eat him? Like, that would be kind of cool.
Like for me, like I see what you mean and I see how you got there.
Yeah.
But when Loki says that he wants to kill Luffy, I don't see it necessarily as this guy's a threat, I should kill him. It's more so like, oh, this guy's annoying. Like, I provoked Shanks, I said it as a joke. Like, yeah, like, I knew what I was signing up for by insulting Shanks, but to see Luffy react so suddenly, like, it's annoying. So maybe that's why he wanted to kill Luffy. I see it more like a kid-in-law kind of thing where they get annoyed and they're like, okay, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see it as Loki being confident or like underconfident even. I just see it as like a simple statement like, okay, like I'm gonna take him down. I can't believe this.
I think two sides to it is that we know he has like subjugated people. So he at minimum declared at that moment that he cannot be subjugated like the rest of these people. So I think that is one thing that like, okay, Loki does not expect that this guy could be like a follower of his. Follower is important, which means like, hierarchy. But in agreement with you, when he goes like, and there's like the stress marks on the dialogue bubbles, and he goes like, I can't even move right now, and like, yeah, that tells me the annoyance, and I can see that. So I agree with you there. It's just like some of the context. I think as a standalone, as a standalone, I think that feels right what you said, but then with the context, I'm like, there's just like something off about this chapter, and then. Like with Loki, and I mean, we just met the guy, so it makes sense that there's
he's definitely a character, that's for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear what he sounds like too.
Yeah, imagine he sounds like Django, which is just Franky's voice actor.
Yeah.
But Franky's voice actor's on leave. He is very sickly right now.
I mean, he's the oldest, right?
He's the oldest. He is the lightest, and he chain smokes every single day.
Yeah, I mean, his voice kind of sounds like he supplements it with smoke.
Yeah, when you see Franky's voice actor, the guy, like, I'm not even joking, he maybe weighs like 80 pounds.
Yeah,
like he is like, dude, a wind gust would take him down.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's a style, but it's kind of sad.
Powerful voice comes from like, such a frail looking body.
A lot of talent, but my God, he does. There's something about really talented people and not taking care of themselves that just goes hand in hand. It's crazy. So my thing with Luffy releasing Loki is that I feel like he would do it if it wasn't such a hassle. Like if he didn't have to go up to the village and take the key, I feel like Luffy would do it. Like if he could just break the chains, yeah. And people have been saying, oh, why doesn't Luffy just break it? Right? But the thing is that these chains are sea stone. Luffy's broken Ryuo, like he's used Ryuo to break regular chains, and he's broken collars before, but he hasn't broken sea stone. We haven't seen a single person actually break sea stone before. Like back in Wano, they had to get a key to release Luffy from Udon prison. So that's why I don't think Luffy can easily just, like Shanks, tell me about it. Like Luffy would actually have to go upstairs and do it, which I think would be a little bit out of character.
Yeah, like Yamato didn't have sea stone shackles. It was just an explosive collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, which is wild. Obviously, that's when we were commending Kaido as a father. It wasn't the explosive collar was a bit too much, but yeah.
Hey, it's an
It was over
accessory.
Sukiyaki, to be fair. Like it
Yeah,
was Kaido.
Sukiyaki did all of that.
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
supervised Yamato's collar.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, with the Loki situation, freeing Loki is an interesting situation because it feels like if Luffy feels confident, I feel like he would break him free somehow. You know what I mean? Like he'd find a way. And that's the thing. He has Gear 5 now. All those other examples has been pre Gear 5. Like if there's any like if a if we were to count any power up that would be able to have Luffy bend what we know, it's Gear 5. And yeah, obviously I don't think it should like I don't know if he should be able to touch the thing and just break it, but like maybe he could do something crazier. Like maybe he could bend the tree. I don't know, and just like free him that way. Like there's so many things that are possible now with Gear 5,
Yeah.
and maybe Luffy does one of those things. I mean, he painted a baseball bat black and batted snot boogers away. Like we are in a different era of One Piece than Udon Prison. Udon Prison was still grounded in reality a little bit. Gear 5, if someone asked me like, can Gear 5 beat Sea Stone? Bro, I couldn't
Yeah, I don't
tell
know
you
either, to be
anymore.
honest. Like, we haven't gotten any instances where Devil Fruits beat Sea Stone or Hockey beat Sea Stone. So that's why I've seen people saying, like, can Luffy break the chains? And I don't, he shouldn't, but
Yeah.
Luffy could be the first instance, which is why, like, it's hard to say, right?
If there's
Like, you know, people
anybody.
want that yes or no answer, but it's like, yeah, like, I'm leaning towards a no, but Luffy could just break the norm right now and be the first person.
Yeah, yeah. And so like I feel like if Luffy feels like he's capable of it, he'll do it. This could be a Zoro thing. Like Zoro somehow shows up and then he does it, or like Luffy calls for them, brings them, something like that. I don't really know. It feels like but so like the thing is like, okay, so he leaves him there, and then what? You know what I mean? I feel like he frees him.
Maybe
Wait, what did
Roto?
I say the first time? He doesn't free him, and then what? Right? Versus I think the natural plot of this story is that he just frees him and then they interact with each other and figure out, like, then there's the next step, right? But if he doesn't free him, he just leaves Loki there, and then what, he's like by himself and he has like no directive. Like, is he gonna find his crew again? Like, I guess he knows where the
Yeah,
bridge
that's
is.
so true. Like, yeah, like what does Luffy do now? Like he says no. What then?
Louis just like walks, so you know how like that's like
he
awkward
just
too.
he just walks away. Hey, okay.
That guy was
That's it.
weird, and then he just like you know what I mean? Like even in a game, like you know those
Does he
times where
climb
you're
the
in a
tree
game.
afterwards? What happens?
Yeah, like you know, like those games, or like you experience this when you're in a game and you face something that's like above your level, and you like
Yeah.
walked up to it, and you get like you disappointingly have to walk back out of the room, like back out of the castle, because you're just like, oh, I'm way too underleveled for this. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Luffy's underleveled, but like that walk of shame
I
almost
do
of
that all
like,
the time. I'm playing a game right now called Metaphor Refantasio, and there's some
yeah.
enemies that just are 10 levels above everything in the dungeon. And I walk into the fight, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave. All right, cool. No
Yeah,
big deal.
like
But when you leave,
that.
they despawn, so it's like it's perfect.
And then, like you said too, if it wasn't a hassle, I think that Luffy would just free him, right? But Loki was like, "You have to go to the village and get the key," and Luffy's like, "I'm not gonna do that." So and then even if Luffy wanted to, would Luffy like can Luffy make it to the place? Like, I'm not saying he's Zoro with the directions, but like, how does he? How does this fit? How does what plan could Loki's like? You have to break into this house,
Yeah.
go into this room, get the key. Like, huh? Look, Luffy doesn't do that. That's not a Luffy thing. So right now, for me, it just feels like the most normal thing is that he breaks him out, and that's like, and then they interact.
Yeah, we've
It
never
just
seen Luffy
might,
go on a direct mission where he finds keys for a
yeah,
specific prisoner and then brings it to the guy. Like that is not happen. Like Luffy's, you know, I'm not trying to say Luffy's dumb, but Luffy doesn't really do operations that require more than one step.
literally Ace. he didn't get the key. Like that was
Yeah,
literally
he made
the
it to
luck
Ace,
of,
but no key.
yeah, and Mr. 3 just happened to be like
Onigashima, Luffy just says, okay, I'm gonna forget the plan, I'm just gonna fight. Like, Luffy just, he's a fighter. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah, yeah. So like so I think he's gonna free him. I just don't think that anything that Loki did so far is the reason why. And I like even this like the question thing, that's something I can tell you. I don't think that Luffy goes like, I'll free you so you can tell me more about Shanks. I don't even I don't think Luffy will like being like threatened, like not threatened, but like bargained with like that over that. You know, like Luffy's in control right now. You know, so but will he be freed? The other ways just are sillier. Like I do.
One way he's gonna be freed, but we just don't know how yet.
Yeah, like okay, in this scenario, right? Luffy could just turn around and be like, all right, bye. You know, he could just do that, and then Loki's like, whoa, wait, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? I could see that. You know, I could see that.
Like me and Shanks are great friends.
Yeah, but then as far as like Luffy just continuing off, like I don't know about that one, right? Like unless he had a Straw Hat with him. If he had somebody with him, then it'd be different. But he literally just left. And the Straw Hats didn't really care either, so like it's his thing.
Like, I feel like it's the perfect scenario for Luffy to free Loki, because like you said, there's no Straw Hats here. There's no one to talk common sense into Luffy, so maybe he does get influenced by something Loki says. Maybe it's not this exactly, but maybe next chapter he'll say more, and then Luffy's like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? You and Shanks are cabin brothers. You know, you're best friends with Buggy and Shanks. You know Ace. Oh my god, dude, Luffy would free this guy in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like, he could, exactly.
I love Garp.
Like, if Loki could be like, he could be like, I used to clash with Shanks. I was his right hand or something. Like, he could say some crazy stuff, and what would Luffy do? Luffy would be like, damn, wait, that's sick. Why are you chained up? All right, let's fix this, brother. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's an interesting position that we're in. But yeah, I think it's straightforward from here. It's just it's just dialogue dependent now. I can't figure out what the dialogue would be.
So we see that Roto is still chasing Zoro, Sanji, and Nami, Usopp, and Chopper, which I gotta admit, you know, kind of commendable, right? He took the Zeus attack and now he's chasing them, but we don't know why he's chasing them. I don't think he says a single thing in this chapter. You know, he could be going after them to capture them and to kill them, but I don't think that's it. I think he might be going over to apologize at this point because he's caught, right? Like Gerd, Goldberg, they're right behind him. They have the Thousand Sunny. They know what probably went down. So I think Rhodes' only chance out of this is to apologize. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Because I don't know if there's any other way to leave, and it might be that they don't even know that the Straw Hats are there because they're so small. So, like, it could just be Roto's running away from Gerd and Goldberg, and they're just on, like, for them, like, when you even look at the panel, it's like they're, like, the Straw Hats are just, like, specks.
Tiny.
So, like, in the winter, while they're running, I don't know if they necessarily see them. And so it might be that Roto has no... he's just simply just running away, and this is the only way out, which would make sense for a prison, right? Like, you wouldn't want to have multiple ways out, and it seemed like the bridge was kind of like the emphasized way to get there and out because it was like surrounded by mountains. So I don't think Roto has a connection to the Straw Hats at the moment as far as motive goes. I do think it's kind of crazy that the Thousand Sunny looks so big.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be smaller, like a little bit.
That's kind of how I felt, but I don't know.
Yeah, I actually know. It feels, maybe it should be bigger or it should be small. I don't know which way, but something feels odd about the size of the ship right now. I feel like giants are like what, like 50 meters or something like that. So I guess it would make sense for it to be like 1 to 1.
At the same time, I kind of feel bad for Oda because I bet he's thinking about the same thing. He's like, wait, is this bigger or smaller? Like, I bet Oda's even like, okay, I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna draw it.
Yeah, I'll edit it in post. Like,
yeah,
it's that stuck out to me. It's not a big deal. Ship, giant, whatever, cool. Saul picked up a giant warship. It's not that crazy. I mean, that was crazy, but like this isn't that crazy. But yeah, I don't know if Gerd and them know where the Straw Hats are either. They're and so like them taking that 1,000 sunny, it could just be that they're trying to bring it back like up to where like the normal tier is. But it will be interesting to see what the Straw Hats decide, right? Because like they're running away, and they're like do we don't have any indication that Roto is like running like, hey, come back here, right? He doesn't say anything like that, right?
Yeah,
They
he's
just
completely
notice-
silent in the chapter. He doesn't say a single word.
And I don't think that the Gerd and Goldberg said anything to the Straw Hats or anything like that. It's just the Straw Hats saw that the 1,000 Sunny was there, but then they also still chose to run away, which is kind of like makes sense, but also like their objective was the ship. But to be fair, it also does them no good that they found the ship in the middle of the island. So I'm not really too sure what happens from here, but it might be that the Straw Hats continue to hide and just like wait to see what happens.
Yeah, they
and,
wait
like,
for
tries
Jory
to
and Brogy to
overhear.
do something.
Yeah, I don't know if they take action. I think like they'll continue to run, and that's kind of it. And then like Nami and somewhat they'll like just kind of like be spying on where the ship was, and then like try to overhear conversations. It might even be that they mishear a conversation. You know what I mean? Like they hear a partial part of the conversation, and it's like something like if they're gonna say like, oh, we gotta get the Straw Hats, and then they're like, get the Straw Hats, and then but then like the rest of the sentence was like to help them get like, you know, situated on Elbaf, but they didn't hear the last part, you know. It could be something like that, and then it's like a misunderstanding, you know. Could easily see that. Especially because I think you highlighted before, Usopp's like on PR control. He's like trying his damnedest to like not try to create enemies of the Giants, even proactively. So that might work in their benefit. It might hurt them because like it could just be that if they just again like confronted Gerd and Goldberg were like, "Oh my God, we found you.
We're
We've
so
been looking
sorry."
for you." Yeah. Our dingus of a person. We didn't accept him. This is our captain's idea. And then like, who's your captain? Hiredin. Oh my God, Hiredin. That's crazy. So like, that's where it's interesting because like Usopp's this isn't cowardice anymore. This is calculated. Like he's trying to keep the peace, and that might be detrimental to them. I don't know though.
No, I agree. I mean, you know, people are kind of mad that the Straw Hats are running, but you know, even back in Roto's Playhouse, like Usopp has been playing PR control. Like he doesn't want to fight people, like just in case that they're actually good people. But you know, in my opinion, I don't agree with that because they fired first. You know, like if at that point, like let's just hurt him a little bit. Let's just settle this up. But yeah, but for Usopp, I get it. It makes sense. One thing I found kind of interesting.
Bit the 1,000 Sunny, but
yeah. One thing interesting about this, though, is that like they know that Roto is the sun god guy without the mask. So Roto is not getting out of this unscathed. At first, I thought that maybe he would get out because he was wearing a costume. But no, the guy's cooked, dude. Like the Straw Hats know, Gerd, Goldberg, they know. So this he's not going to fare well afterwards. Like I think Hardin will kick him out of the crew. And then I wonder what's going to happen with Roto afterwards. Like, is he going to be the guy that frees Loki? Like, hey, kill the Straw Hats. I'll let you go, man.
Well, but here's the thing. Like, what's interesting is that, like, Hiredin, like, if they just forgive him, it's fine. Because, like, normally they would be upset about all the other people that were there. But it wasn't like illegal. That was what I was talking about before, where like Goldberg was like laughing. He was like, haha, like he's not like technically he's just smuggling them in, and like it's like, you know.
Yeah, but Goldberg might be one of those guys who just laughs at everything though, right?
That's true. But they allow it, like this exists, right? They could have stopped this anytime. Like he has a dedicated room inside the prison.
Maybe they don't have proof.
I mean, just walk into his room and open the door, and then there's a bunch of people.
But what if the people are like, "Oh, we want to be here.
Yeah, okay,
we trespassed."
Yeah,
There's something silly.
Yeah, like he could be saying like, "Oh, we trespassed," or they trespassed, and like whatever. But then I think Goldberg knew that he was just smuggling people in, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like,
So
what if
it
it's like a
is.
boy secret, like the guys just know about it, but nobody else does.
Yeah, it could be because they're twins technically. Not twin, but like birthday. They share the same birthday.
Do they
Loki,
really?
Roto, and Goldberg, right? I think they're all
Do
born on
they
the same day.
really?
I think so, right? That was what happened in the chapter.
What? Wait, I don't remember
Yeah. Wait.
that.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that was the thing. Manga. It's 866, right? Let's see.
One Piece Goldberg. So we got Goldberg. His birthday is May 11th. One
Mhm.
Piece Loki. I'm typing it in right now. The One Piece wiki is loading super slowly. Apologies. So
It
what?
says we celebrate the recent birth of Prince Loki at the castle and Roto and Goldberg in the village.
So for Loki, there's
866.
no date listed.
So that means we got Goldberg's Viver card.
I think so.
Interesting. See, it could be that they were just born in like the same week, but like it says this is the direct line from 866. We celebrate the recent birth of Prince Loki at the castle and Roto and Goldberg in the village.
So Roto, his birthday is listed as February 19th. So they're very
Ooh,
different. And
that's
Roto's
interesting.
birthday is actually in an SBS. So that's Oda. That's not even Vivri card. That's Oda.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
So all
I'm just
different
reading the line.
birthdays.
Yeah, I'm just reading the line at 866. That's very interesting. So I guess that could make sense if like if they're within a month, right? They're just like all newborn babies, and then they're like, we gotta celebrate all these babies. You know what I mean? Like, could be that. Could
Yeah.
be that. So having that clarification from the SBS and Viva card.
Maybe.
SBS. What
Yeah.
SBS?
SBS. Crazy, huh?
Why?
Maybe somebody
For
asked about
who?
Harden's crew. Roto.
Yeah, maybe. That's such an odd for an SBS.
Somebody
That's
asked about
interesting.
Roto. Like, hey, Roto, what's his birthday? When we had like one single page about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was thinking like magazine, like Stanson was. Like
I kind of wish I
that's
still had the
crazy.
thing pulled up, but I exited out of it. But yeah, Roto is an SBS.
That's crazy because like Stanson was told that in a magazine that he was the guy next to Rayleigh, but we get Roto's birthday in an
Oh yeah,
SBS. That's
he had a
wild.
glow up. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, born in the same months,
Yeah,
years. You know what I mean? Like there could be some kind of special
or
relationship
like
going on.
yeah, born that year. Maybe not a lot of giants get born, so they celebrate all together.
Yeah, yeah, it could be something like that.
So now, last not last part, but like second to last part, we have Harden and Stanson. Kind of just talk about him, funny
Yeah,
enough. And they killed the moose. They're ready to bring it back. We talked about the moose being related to Strongworld already. And I guess the only thing to really take away from this is the Sunstone Pinder. What do you think that is?
I don't know, but I talked about this in my Elbaf video that like if like Oda wanted to bring in like like there's some interesting geology that comes with Iceland and Scandinavian stuff, and one of it was sunstone. Sunstone's like this mythological thing that we kind of don't really know why or how exactly they used it, but since then theories have come out like it was kind of these sunstones would let you find the sun even when the sun wasn't in the sky. That was kind of like the mythos, I think. And the theory was that they're double refractive prism stones that naturally formed. And when you hold them up to the sky, you are able to see the direction of the sun when it's below the horizon because of some kind of weird double refractive property. That's at least the theory behind it, and that those were sunstones. And but like other than that, they had other like mythological purposes. And I say mythological in the sense of like folklore that was lost to history kind of sense, because I think they're confident that they were used. It's not like they were not real, like we see them. We just I think the other part is that we don't know exactly what kind of rock they were talking about. There's like two prevailing theories, I believe. But yeah, but they said like Pinders is like it's something one who impounds animal. So I'm not. I don't know. Like, it's.
Maybe it's like a cart or like a wagon.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about like the rest of the context.
I
Like
mean, to be
usually,
fair, we're talking about Elbaf technology, so for all we know, it's probably just like a rock.
yeah, and hey, maybe this is something that
They just
the
roll
Viz
it.
helps us up with. Like maybe they use a different word. I don't know.
The other translations I saw also said that this was really weird,
Yeah,
like Sunstone Pinder. Like it's translated a couple different ways too.
yeah, it's
But
a very specific thing.
yeah, I mean, Sunstone in general, I think is pretty interesting because we have Sea Stone. So I
Yeah.
wonder if Sunstone is going to be like the opposite. Like Sea Stone drains you of your abilities, drains you of strength. Maybe Sunstone will make you stronger,
Yeah, yeah,
or like it
that
emits
would be
music
interesting.
even.
Yeah, like Luffy starts like boiling or something. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, or like they start glowing a little bit.
Yeah, he turns into Nightmare Luffy or something. Like that would be kind of sick.
Yeah, Sunny D Luffy.
Sunny D Luffy's crazy.
So
That's a good one.
last part now, we got Robin. She got her hair cut. She's back to her pre-time skip self. Did you like this? Were you
Yeah,
happy?
yeah. I was when I we saw the panel with Robin's face. It felt good. You know what I mean? I was like, dang, she's looking good. And then it hit me. I was like, wait a second, this is her childhood haircut. And I guess it didn't dawn on me when she was Miss All Sunday because she had like a separate getup too and everything. You know, like so like the focal point wasn't really her hair then. I just remembered it as a kid. You know, because like this is a kid. Whereas Miss All Sunday was like not well dressed for the desert, let's say. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of other things to focus on. So, but yeah, then I was like, oh wait, and then they said it's a pre-time skip haircut, and I was like, oh okay, all right, I see, I got it now. But yeah, she looked like exactly like she was a kid, when she was a kid, and then they added the whole Saul angle, which was hilarious because I was like, if Saul doesn't recognize her with the regular hair, that'd be wild. But obviously, I don't think she was doing it. She just was like celebrating the moment, you know, wanting to like relive, you know, all that stuff. So I liked it. It felt like filler, right? It felt like a good filler thing. I was like, wait, what's the point of this haircut? Like, why? You know,
I
it was
think
very
Oda
interesting.
knows that people love the bangs on Robin.
Yeah, yeah. You can lose some words in that sentence, and they still be true. Um,
Yeah. Like just
yeah.
robbing it the haircut, I think is amazing. Hopefully she keeps it. I think she will. I think throughout the end of the series, she'll have this one haircut still.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nothing against foreheads, but you know, the forehead will be missed if that's the case. It'll always be there. Um, but yeah, this is a good change. This is a good
100%.
change. Yeah.
And now we got the final part, and that's Saul dying.
Yes. Sort of.
Yeah. Saul Sensei, he's fallen and he can't get up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
that
really? We kept this guy alive only to maybe kill him again.
it doesn't even make sense. Like, cause like the life alert meme doesn't work because Saul's like like he's not decrepit. Doesn't make sense. So why has he fallen and can't get back up? And then why like the guy didn't say he passed out. He just started running. Like then why didn't this guy pick him up? You know what I mean? Like if he fell, why didn't you help him stand up? You know what I mean? Like it is a very odd way to end the chapter, I will say. Especially because the chapter title is like about Loki and the realm of dead. So and then like ending it on a cliffhanger about Saul, very interesting choice here for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
You
with
know?
Saul, like, I wonder if this is because of the Buster Call. Like, we saw that after the Buster Call, he was bandaged up, and we never saw his face afterwards. And even on Egghead, like, we didn't see his body. Like, Oda gave us, like, a silhouette
true.
shot time and time again. So it could be
Yeah.
just, like, long sustaining injuries that he's had. Maybe it's due to the Buster Call, maybe it's due to Aokiji. But I could see that maybe being the case, but, like, what could it be to where he's going to die, right? Like, I like to imagine that Chopper and or Vegapunk would be able to cure him if he is on death's door.
Yeah, and also this is Gerd's wheelhouse, so like maybe that ropes Gerd into this, right? Like splits her up, because she's the doctor. At least she's the only giant doctor that we know of at the moment. So Gerd could be paying service to Saul. That'd be interesting. But like, yeah, like the urgency, this is bad. It's Mr. Saul, he's falling and can't get back up. Like, is this a regular thing or is this a one-time thing? Is it as severe as he's dying? Like, what's the urgency here? I don't really know. There's no like it's like a weird cliffhanger. Like, you don't even know you're hanging. And it's not even a cliff you want to be on, you know? Like Saul fallen and he can't get back up only feels bad because Robin is preparing. But like, I'm gonna be honest, like the haircut does a lot for me, but not in the angle or spectrum that it relates to Saul. You know what I mean? Like, the haircut's cool, but it's not setting up a moment like that. You know what I mean? It's not that deep, in my opinion.
Yeah, because the haircut never like defined their flashback, right?
Yeah, there was nothing like Saul wasn't creepy and was just like, I like that hair on you. You know what I mean? Like,
imagine Saul said that like, baby Robin, bang bangs. Like, whoa, Saul, chill.
Like, yeah, it was a super wholesome thing. He had the the rest, she. That's all she needs, right? Like,
yeah,
that's it. It's raps. And it like it's almost like the haircut came too soon. Cause what if it's that Saul like has no memories or something? Like he just has.
That'd be
like
so funny.
Mr. Deeds, you know, like every day is just a new day. Like the Buster Call like busted him. Like he's not so, you know, like when we were talking about it on the Reverie, like what
I feel like Dorian Broggie would have mentioned that Saul has crazy amnesia.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, hey, by the way, Robin, like Saul loses his memories every 24 hours. Like,
yeah, you're right.
I don't think he'll remember you.
Yeah, no, but this is a good point. If Saul was decrepit, then like Dorian Broggie surely would have been like, hey, listen, like he's not doing well. He can't like.
Yeah, Dorian Broggie, or maybe somebody from their crew, even, right?
Yeah, like
because they were here.
It's an interesting spot. Like also Vegapunk.
Maybe it's like out of nowhere. Maybe like this just happened.
Yeah, because like post Ohara. If Saul was injured from Ohara and Vegapunk like paid him a visit and just said, shit, brother, you're fucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like Vegapunk saw his ass. If he was still injured from then and like Vegapunk didn't help him, that'd be kind of funny. Crazy. Yeah, it'd be kind of. He's like, sorry, I don't
no funding from the world government. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. No, like Vegapunk hits him with the reverse racism with like,
me got no money.
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. So that's what. Yeah, I think contextually it makes no sense that this is like residual. I think it has to be like random. But then if it's like random or like recent stuff, the guy didn't say that like he passed. Like because normally you just be like he passed out. He's out cold. Right? Like, and that insinuates everything else. Like, oh, he's on the ground. He's whatever. He goes, it's Mr. Saul. He's fallen and can't get back up. That's very different. You know what I mean? Like, life alert only works because the person's still conscious enough to, like,
to call for help. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the button wouldn't work if the person who can't get back up also couldn't, like, hit the button, you know? So, like, it's a very odd end to the chapter.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I mean, like I said, I'm not super worried about Saul, just because we have the world's smartest mind on their way to this island, and we have Dr. Chopper, we have Gerd. Like, I just don't feel too worried for Saul. So it like you said, it's a weird cliffhanger because it's like it's important, but how important will this be? Like, I'm more worried about the man off the coast of Elbaf because Robin's group is about to run into him.
That's true. That
we're about to finally find out who that is.
Yeah, and here's another thing. Actually, not here's another thing. But like, I think what you said really contextualized what I was saying before about like, I said it on stream. Like, anyone who's negative about Saul, other than like Sai, who just doesn't like giants, or Saul or whatever. Like some people don't like him as a character, that's fine. But I think a majority of people appreciate his place in the story as far as memories go. He had a great like as far as what people remember, Saul played a great role. It's right now when you hear negative Saul stuff, it's about the future of Saul. Like, why is he here? And you said it. Like, if he was studying the poneglyphs and those are just a portion of the available poneglyphs, then Vegapunk has more information than him. So he's not helpful there. He's not even from Ohara. So like that he's not like he's a survivor, sure, but he's not like an Oharan. And Robin would already be that. Like Kuzan's not here and he thinks he's dead, so it doesn't even matter to him. Robin just at that point we're just bringing him back for Robin because like Lilith completely supplants his place in the story. Not that like even his place in the story, like he showed up there not as a scholar and now he's just like watching over the stuff. Did he read? But he can't read any of the books, they're too small for him. We know this. Like the giants just tried to read bounty posters in the newspaper and they failed. So like I don't think Saul is changing that. I don't think that all of a sudden the giants are literate in human text, so that doesn't even make sense either. I guess he could self-teach himself poneglyph text also because he didn't show up to Ohara knowing that. And apparently you need to be a genius to figure that out, right? Like for Robin to do it, period, was a feat. But to do it at her age is another feat, right? So like that's also something to consider. So like there's just so much about Saul that's just like not really necessary. And the entry point that we have for him is he's fallen and he can't get back up. And it's like it just feels like Saul just came back to cause problems. Like my guy, just stay out of the story at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like
stay out of here, Saul.
Yeah, like my guy, stand up, like get your ass back. You're on the clock, brother. Like no, I'm joking, but like, yeah, it's just a very odd situation.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, yeah. I'm not super invested in Saul to where I like, I'm worried about him because we just have so many answers on our doorstep. Like, he shouldn't die. And then even if he does die, he should have been dead. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then it's like, I don't even know, man. Like, it's such a weird mixed bag for me personally. And then, like you said earlier, like, I'm not a big fan of giants to begin with. And I think Saul's my least favorite. So that's also why I'm just kind of like, okay, like Saul's cooked, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, like even Robin was like, Vegapunk gave Robin a lot of hope. One of it was Saul being alive. But more importantly, the notion that Vegapunk was carrying on the will of Ohara, that was all she really needed, right? I feel like if you were to take Saul out of the story, it wouldn't have hurt the story at all. And right now, moving forward, it's like this is such a I like caution myself to say clumsy. But like my guy's apparently like Kuina and just fell down the stairs or something. Like I don't know, the longest stairs and he just can't get back up. Like I'm not really sure what's happening here. And I thought that's like, yeah, Saul can't offer anything to the story. What can he tell us about like the power of a Buster Call? Like
the only way Saul would contribute really more outside of like emotional stuff. Yeah. It would be if he is the man marked by flames, and I don't think he is.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I feel like it'd be really weird if he was. Like, yes, the timeline kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, that would mean that the final poneglyph is here on Elbaf, and for some reason, Saul decided to take it and bring it here. He has a black ship and can create whirlpools. And this would also mean that Shanks might have this poneglyph as well, which that means Shanks, if he took kids, has all four. Like, there's a lot of things that's really awkward about Saul being the man marked by flames, in my opinion.
Yeah. The notoriety is just... And then, like, this is a terrible entry point for that character. We're dealing with the reveal of Loki, Let us live that. We not like what is happening. You know what I mean? Why would we bring up the man marked by flames just to be overshadowed or to overshadow Loki, the giants at large, right? Like, because Saul, I'm not trying to isolate him, but he didn't consider himself one of the giants, as far as like the savage nature that Elbaf was like, but yeah, like it's just uh, if someone could tell me what he could offer in the story, maybe I'd rethink it. But like my tired brain, day after we talked about the Reverie a lot, I feel like I've thought about Saul way more than Oda like probably intends to, which also feels terrible, right? Because like it's kind of like the recycle cur thing. We got the narrator box, so you think it's going to be important, right? With Saul, it's like the way this chapter ends, it doesn't give off the air of like Saul's gonna be important. It feels like he's halfway out the door already. You know what I mean? And then yeah, like he's outclassed by Vegapunk. Vegapunk literally did all of Ohara and more. So what is Saul gonna do? Like read, like I guess give us Elbaf stuff. But
How would
like
you
anybody could have
feel
done that.
if if we never meet Saul?
At this point, it would be so weird. But like, would it be the most upsetting thing in my life? Like, as far as reading One Piece, no, because it's like at least him not being here is Loki better for the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm mad at like him reviving and the retcon that people believe it is. Like obviously I've thought about the theory that he never died, and I've had that. Me and Mosh talked about that when I first started my channel. Like yeah, it's an idea. I'm sure plenty of other people thought about it too. But at the same time, it's just like I don't know. It's just now that we brought him back, like, yeah,
Just that's
yeah,
it. Something
you
about
know,
him, dude.
yeah, like why did we do this? It's and then people talk about like the fake out death stuff and how it's not as terrible. Maybe it's not as a one off, but like that's not what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with like multi level, saturated. Yeah, and there's deaths here and there, but like this is one that like it truly feels like there's not a single thing that he could really tell us other than maybe like, oh, I know where like Olvia is and like Clover's alive. Like if he tells us that, that's crazy. But I feel like Vegapunk would kind of tell us that. Like that doesn't feel like a Saul, like something he would just withhold. You know what I mean? Maybe he did. Maybe he knew because like he showed up there first. Maybe he saved like Clover and whatever, and because he knew that Vegapunk was a world government person, he just never told them. Right? It could be something like that. But you can't like predict something like that either. So we're just left with dude is
On the
broke,
ground.
dying on the ground. Like I don't even know. Like he's also not really the smartest person. Like there's just so many things not going for him.
What do you mean not the smartest person? He's renowned as the scholar of Elbaf.
Yeah,
The the one guy with the college degree, Par. Come
yeah.
on.
Surrounded by books that he can't read.
Yeah, the books that are
Congrats.
too
Yeah.
small, he needs like a magnifying glass to read.
Yeah. That might be the only reason why he's called the scholar is because he's the only one who takes the time to like use a magnifying glass.
Or
Like,
maybe he doesn't even read them, he just collects them like Roto with humans.
yeah, he could just be lying to them. How would the Giants know? He could just be like, "Oh, this book tells us
Dude,
about math."
I would
That'd be
make so
crazy.
much shit up. I'd be like, "Hey guys, this book talks about the origins of the world."
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
people
Did
are
you
like, "Whoa,
know?
really?"
Yeah,
Yep.
this is wild. Yeah, Saul is
Not to be trusted.
yeah. It's
No, I'm
just
kidding.
like it's just the
He's
other thing is the
there.
title of the chapter, right? The setup. Like I want Loki stuff, and then what I got at the end of the chapter, not Loki.
Maybe Loki and Saul are the same person.
Hey, someone's had a theory that Saul has some kind of cure for Loki. And my current rebuttal, I had a better one on stream, is my current rebuttal is that apparently Saul needs whatever ailment fix. He needs the cure. Somehow the guy is like like in his prime time as a giant age-wise, and he's decrepit. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, if Luffy could free Loki and Loki had the cure, maybe I could see that happening, but
Yeah.
like there's not a lot to go off of yet, but
Yeah.
we'll see next chapter. But with that being said, hey, thank you, Par, for joining me again. Really appreciate it as always, man. It's super late. It's like 5 a.m. now. We survived the times, and
My
it's
eyes are tapping out.
yeah, it's time to go to bed, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
feeling
like
it.
my eyes are closing at the end, and my brain is still going off though. Like I'm still thinking about the chapter, like insanely.
Yeah, it's firing off those neurons. But
Yeah.
hey, thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out this chapter. Hopefully TCB releases their chapter earlier next time around, so we can knock these out at a way better time, get these up a lot earlier. Like I think this is going up Sunday afternoon. Typically, I'm not uploading this on Sunday. It's like Saturday or Friday or something. But yeah, got to work with what we got. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Peace out.